Test 1 2. Dog shit. Duh. Duh. Dog shit.
On the topic of audio, something that is really important is hearing protection. And this right here is the Loop earplugs. When I first heard about these on Instagram and came across them, I thought they were really interesting. And as I started to check them out, a lot of friends.
Perfect. I'm at war with the world and they try to pull me into the dark. I struggle to find my way as I'm slipping from your arms. It's getting harder to stay away, and my strength is fading fast. You breathe into me,
Adam Heeman.
Touches.
It's my time. I'll do what I want, 'cause this is my life. Right now. I know what I believe inside. I'm awake and I'm alive. I'm at war with the world, 'cause I ain't never gonna sell my soul. One day I'll get faster at this setup process. When my faith is getting weak, and I feel like giving in, you breathe into me. I'm awake, I'm alive, now I know what I feel inside. Now it's my time, I'll do what I want, 'cause this is my life. Right now.
Yep. Glad you guys recognize the baddest.
Riri, you're an adult, right?
Hello, Adam.
You're an
I
adult.
am 18.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
You're only 18?
Yeah, I'm only 18.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. What year were you born?
So it's
I thought you were older. I thought you were
March 24, 2007.
2007. Okay, you turned 18. Okay. What you think?
I agree with the prompt. Is this
Oh,
your life that you
oh,
defend and you do it better than any person that, you know,
thank you. Thank you.
'cause is this it?
Oh, no, I was saying thank you to the chat. Yeah, I am debating this. It's for not the reason that you think, but I am debating that trans women are women and they should be in the bathroom.
Well,
Yeah.
can I hear your debate? Can I hear?
If you get somebody up, you're gonna hear it.
We can't just give it away like that.
Yeah, yeah. I want to
Well,
talk
I'm
to ops
curious.
only.
I
Well,
really
They're
you
am.
they're
can't
gonna
get
come.
anything you want right away.
It's early. It's early. I've only been on for 2 minutes. It takes a minute to get going. You want to stick around? You're gonna hear it. See.
Well,
And here's the thing. Here's what one of the things I'll show my hand a little bit. The trans community is really bad at debating their side. Like really
Both
bad.
sides are bad at it.
Yeah, and whatever gender critical anti-trans are also really bad. They might even be worse. So, but
they have a hard time dealing with this argument.
All
Usually while
right.
it gets
Well,
running. Yeah. Got you, Farrell. But yeah, let's try to get up to 10K because it's kind of slow early in the morning to get on the For You page. But once we get to 10K, then it usually hits. And I got my little tappy tap going too. Actually, now I can switch phones. What's this?
okay. Well, let me send this motherfucking live to my main account, and I'm about to join back.
Okay,
But
okay.
All right, we'll see you soon.
I will see you guys. I'm willing to debate. Let me hear that shit.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean you can you can
bye.
you can pop in for support, but yeah, I'm gonna yeah, I'll see you, Riri.
Yep,
You might be
sure.
you might be able to pop in for support.
Alrighty.
All right. Hey, what's up, Louie? Don't turn it on. But yeah, we're just getting started. Get started, guys. It's been slow in the morning. It is what it is. Used to it now. But if you think that if you disagree with the prompt, I want to hear from you. And in the meantime, music. I'm awake. I'm alive. I believe inside. It's my time. Da, 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 da.
Oh, did I tell you I started watching this movie?
Oh, did you? I
It
haven't seen it
is
yet.
not good.
I I really didn't think it was gonna be good. I
It's
just
like a teenager wrote the script.
yeah.
It's not good.
It's like yeah, but
The
the music,
music is
the
great.
music's great. Yeah, they went overboard with the music. I think they. Judah, how you doing?
Good, man. What's up?
Good, good. Are you an adult? Don't say your age. Just an adult. Or yes or no,
Yeah.
adult. Okay, sweet. I don't have people say their exact ages. That's weird. Judah, do you think that trans women are women, or do you disagree?
I think it depends on what we have to define the term women first. I think it
Right.
depends on how you define the
Okay.
term.
How do you define the term woman?
A woman to me is a biological female.
Okay, so all right, thank you for that. Some people are really picky about like giving away their definition, which is weird.
Yeah, and I
So
wanted to
your
say too, real quick
yours is
before
female. Okay, yeah, okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick too is like I think that people they like it. Not everybody defines woman the same or what a
Uh-huh.
female is the same, but I
Yep.
think that it is important that we at least have somewhat of a consensus on a generality. If
Yeah,
that makes sense. Like we have to have something to draw off of.
yeah, I got you. Here's my definition. Let me get out of the way. A woman, an adult person whose appearance and mannerisms are primarily influenced by the female sex. More words than yours. The W that you have is yours is sweet, concise, and to the point. Adult human female. However, it is not the utility of that definition is lacking. Is very lacking.
The
Estella,
only
come on up.
the only problem that I have with
Because oh, sorry, I was reading the chat. Okay, I
go ahead,
apologize. I paused.
no, go ahead. You can respond to it. Go ahead.
Who are you talking to, Estella?
I was just talking in general because, like, you said, what's the definition of a woman? And he said, well, it's a human female. And I've been on some panels before where they have you, now they're the they, thems, the rainbow alphabet soup people, those kind of lives. So they say, oh, you think a woman is a human female? And I said, yes. And they're like, oh, okay, well, so what about a little girl? What about like a 6-year-old? And I said, well, they're not a woman per se, but they're a female. And then they tried to call me a pedo
Oh,
because, yeah, like the fucking ways that they will stretch that shit is disgusting, and it's
oh, I
very
got you.
concerning.
Well, I think yeah. They always try to make you look bad.
Oh
The other side, no matter what you want, that's a toxic trait. Yeah.
yeah.
Did you see my definition, Judah?
Yeah, and I was gonna say that the old. Can you pull it back up real
Yep.
quick? Or, yeah, I
One
wonder.
second.
Yeah, yeah.
A
Yeah. So
person. Yep. Go ahead. You can
so
read it.
the only issue that I have with that is that it's sort. If you look at it from how I'm looking at it, it looks almost like a circular definition because you're saying an adult person whose appearance and mannerisms are primarily influenced by female sex. So
I don't think there's any circular to that. No, there's
Yeah.
there's no circular to that because woman is the word that we're defining. So nothing circles back to the woman. It points to something else, unless you can find something. Adult person, that doesn't point back to woman
are you saying
necessarily.
that the word woman and an adult human female are two separate?
Yeah,
two
those are
separate things?
those are two different definitions of woman. Yeah, but my argument, Judah, is that this definition that you're looking at is better than yours. That's my argument. You can use that. It has utility, adult human female, only in privacy, like in a doctor's room, or when you go below the belt. Because here's the thing. Here's the problem, Judah, is because in society, when we're just walking down the street, at the mall, at the store, 99% of people, you have no idea what their sex is. You can guess, but you can't see it because they're
So,
clothes, because they have clothes on, right?
but you can absolutely. I don't remember the percentage, but it's over 90% of the time you can positively, accurately identify somebody based off of phenotypical appearance.
But you could be wrong.
You could be, but
Yeah.
almost 99, almost 100%
Oh,
of the
but
time. You're
what was that word you said? Starts with the A? Appearance?
Full experience, yeah.
Oh, I
Appearance,
thought you
right?
meant almost.
Okay, because I can just look at someone, I can look at Estella and Duchess and be like, woman, boom. Why? Because of their appearance. I don't need to know what your smex is. I don't need to know that you're a female. I don't need to know that. Keep your pants on. Keep your pants on. Because
I actually agree with you there. So the question that I would draw from that would be, okay, well, what's that applied to? You're right. It doesn't really matter to me what someone's gender is. Me personally, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. But
if you go with the adult human female definition, you really can't say who's a woman and who's not. Boom, 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 boom. Are they women? Well, according to the anti-trans side, we don't know because we don't know what their smex is.
Well, that's a male on the screen right now. That's a male.
How do you know?
Because look at their 5 o'clock shadow.
This
Look
one?
at their
There's women
facial
that have
structure.
that too. That's not a fair assessment.
Now I do
Yeah.
show people that I know that I'm pretty sure that they're trans. I looked up trans women. This one is not. This is all these pictures. I just Googled random woman. This is what came up.
Well,
And
that's
here's
the
the
thing.
thing.
You Googled it though, so
Yeah, but how do you know?
you
How do you know
know.
what their smex is? You talk about this one?
that one, yeah, completely flat chested, completely. No, we're not even showing
Oh
any
wow!
kind
As
of
if there's no
roundness of
flat-chested
the
women out
breasts.
there.
There's
Like
flat-chested women.
nothing.
That's a wild assessment as well.
I gotta
There's
disagree with
flat-chested
this.
women.
Yeah, I agree with that. There are flat.
The
That's
point of the
crazy
matter
to me.
is there's only certain situations where it actually matters if you're right or wrong. Okay? I know everybody wants to deal in facts, but you're not and perception is not reality. I get that. I promise I do. But you're not going to be demanding facts from every single person you encounter in your life.
So what's the core issue? So
Well,
you're right. It
yeah.
doesn't. I don't say that there's a person who doesn't
Right.
care what gender you are. So what's the
Well,
issue?
yeah, here's the issue. So trans women are women. Let me show you a picture. Okay, well, let me show you one of the pictures I already showed. Judah and Estella, do you have an issue with me saying that this is a woman and not having a problem with her in the ladies' room? Do you have a problem with that? I don't have an issue. That's a woman. She can go into the
Yeah.
woman's room. No issue. Do you have a problem with that?
No, I don't. If you're
Well,
a woman,
how do you know she's female?
she is very much presenting everything female.
Oh, you mean like my definition?
Oh!
A
Snap.
person whose appearance and mannerisms are
Nailed it.
influenced by the female smex?
Yeah, I mean, if that person walked into the female restroom, I wouldn't even do a double take.
So she's a woman because of my definition, not yours.
I guess I don't know.
So my
I
definition is
don't
better?
feel-
Is that a concession?
You said what?
I said so are you conceding that my definition is better? Is that a concession?
An adult person whose appearance and mannerisms are primarily influenced by female sex. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's fine.
Oh. Okay, so if she was
Because
trans,
if she was trans, I wouldn't know.
right? You wouldn't know. You don't know who anybody schmecks until you are in private. So why does it
Well,
matter? Why
see,
does it
this is
matter?
the thing. This is the thing that concerns me, though, because like there are certain bodily characteristics that clearly make somebody present female or male, and I know that there's always certain stipulations, right? There's
Yeah.
always certain like there's cosmetic surgeries. There could be deficiencies or genetic, impurities in their body, but pretty typically, like this is why I shout for like people to take hardcore like anatomy and physiology to like the highest level possible, because if you have an Adam's apple, you're a man. If a
Which
female
one?
can't have an Adam's apple,
Which one?
like
Which one do you think is male?
I think they're both male.
Have you seen this before?
I have
Have you seen-
not, but I
okay.
think those are both men.
Okay, you're right. Good guess. Okay, but if this person told you that this person is actually female, you wouldn't question it, would you? I'm gonna be honest. That looks like a woman. Very,
It
very
does,
woman.
but there.
This is a trans woman. This is
Yeah,
a
but
male.
I can just tell that that's a man.
Would
though.
you say anything? Can you though?
If they went into the restroom, like, is that what you're meaning? If they went into a restroom?
Yeah. Would you have a problem with it?
Probably
really can't- you
not.
really
Probably
can't
not
tell
because
this,
they're
man,
just
if you're honest.
I wouldn't do a double take because they're way more feminine presenting than masculine.
All right. Would you have an issue with any of these people going into the woman's room? Would you really though?
Well, hold on. That's a man. Go back.
Okay.
None of them. She's good. That's a man. Nope. That's
You
That's
mind-
a.
no.
Adam,
That's
do you
not a
mind
man.
if I ask? I want to take it a step further. So, Estelle, you say that is this? I guess pick one. One of the ones you said, oh, that's definitely a man, right? Let's say that person
How do
does.
you know?
Well, no. Let's just say,
Yeah.
for the sake of it, Estelle, you clocked them. That's a trans. They're in the bathroom with you now. What do you do?
Yeah. What's the issue with the bathrooms? Why
so-
can't?
Like, what do you do now?
Well, yeah.
So
Let's
my-
say. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was trying to answer. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
What do you
my
do? What do you do?
my issue isn't with like
Sorry.
trans people. I don't have an issue with trans people. Like
Right.
I don't have no hate on them. Like
That's
it
cool.
doesn't matter to me. But
But you said trans are not supposed to be in the wrong bathrooms.
I
get
never said that. I never said that.
Oh, you never said that. That's
No,
on
I never
me.
said that. Now there's an issue. There's an issue with I think my biggest issue is probably the people that are quote unquote trolls. Meaning trolls is that they are clearly men. They're clearly presenting as
Okay.
men, even though they say that they're women. Like they put on a dress or some lipstick, and they go
All right.
into the women's restroom just because they
Got
feel
it.
that they have
Thank
that
you for the
choice.
follow. Love you.
Right. So let's say that this troll person is what you're calling it. This troll walks into the bathroom with you.
You clocked him.
Troll, you clocked it, la di da.
Yeah.
Now what do you do?
I would personally leave to protect my privacy.
Okay, what if there's another woman that's in the stall and doesn't know that the trans woman just walked into the bathroom? Would you
If there was
alert that
someone
other
else in
person?
there-
Like, or are
if
you
there was
just
somebody
gonna,
else
like,
in
dip?
there, then I would probably ask him like, "What are you doing in here?" Like, I would like some privacy.
Oh, okay. And the trans woman says, "Too bad. So do I. Leave me alone. Why are you talking to me? If you want privacy."
Well, then I would thank them for invading my space and making me feel very uncomfortable and being extremely disrespectful. There's a whole ass men's
Isn't that
restroom you can
confrontational,
use.
though?
I don't care. I don't care if it's confrontational.
I mean, they're
Isn't
not.
isn't
Yeah,
that kind of the opposite effect of
No, it's kind of like defending our space from somebody who's being weird.
Yeah, yeah, but Estella and Judah, you can chime if you want to, or not. It's up to you. But Estella, if the only thing is okay, someone you clocked, maybe you didn't clock them. It doesn't matter. You have a question. Are you trans? They go in, and they you're uncomfortable. Is that the reason you don't want trans women? You want trans women in the men's room because you're uncomfortable. You think that they're in your space.
No, because
No.
at the end of the day, men coming into private women's spaces, if you have a penis, it is a weapon. Instantly, it's looked at as a weapon.
so
Well-
even though here's
By the way,
thing, though,
host, I
Estelle.
know your true thoughts. I've been in your live several times before.
Do you though?
Yeah, I know you can't do that.
Don't-
That sounds well. Respectfully, I don't know if this is going to come off respectfully.
Just deal
or
with the
not,
argument.
but
Just deal with the argument.
this
Yeah.
is really parasocial for you to say, "Oh, I know you. I know you don't really mean what." Like it that's parasocial. So
I've just
stick
been
with
in
the
here a
topic.
lot, but yeah. Okay.
That's
Well,
that's fantastic. I'm glad you enjoy the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
I do.
You
Hold on.
should, instead of tackling the host, no
I'm
pun
not
intended,
coming at him
tackle
any kind
the.
of way.
Yeah, I got you. You may or may not know. Oh,
Okay.
I think Adam's doing this, doing that. Regardless, deal with the argument.
I'm
'Cause
here
this is
for it.
this is
It's
something
okay.
this is something you struggle with. Okay, because if you say, well, the reason why we don't want trans women in the bathroom is because we're just uncomfortable and it's inappropriate, and I
I
just don't
never
want them in there.
said that though. Like I feel like words are being put in my mouth because I never
Well,
ever once made the
people
claim
say
that.
that though. If you'd like to
I get
clarify
it.
your own stance, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what's the reason you don't want trans women in the bath or men? Why can't? What's the issue with men?
And mind you,
they just
earlier you said I never said that, and now you're
I think it
conceding
comes.
that you agree with this.
I'm engaging in your conversation. Okay, I never made the claim
Are
that
you
what you
coming
guys
from an
said.
honest place? Like, how do you
Yes.
feel about trans women? Should they be in the women's bathroom? Yes or no?
No.
Yeah, take a stand.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you, Luffy.
regardless
Luffy.
regardless of whatever you think is going on, Stella, just take a stand. Just take
So I
one side or
think.
the other.
Yeah. No. Okay. Then no. Then no.
Okay, because
No. Because
makes you
I think
uncomfortable,
that
right?
it's
Inappropriate.
it's very uncomfortable. I really do feel like women deserve to have private
Okay.
spaces, and it comes beyond more than just like like say a penis walking into the restroom. There's a lot of cultural,
You don't
religious.
see the wieners walking in
Can
unless
I
they're naked.
finish? Okay, I'll just shut up.
I have a response to that to kind of branch off of that, and I'm coming at this with good faith. I just want to put that out there too.
Yep.
I think that so I work in a law enforcement space, so I think that the biggest concern is it doesn't really matter to me if a trans woman walks into a bathroom or a trans man or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter to me. It's not my business, right?
Yep.
But I think what does matter is what occurs often, which is a lot of SA. I was just reading something the other day about
That's already illegal, though.
well, yes, it's illegal, but
Mhm.
it still happens a disproportionate amount, and
And
that's what I think the problem. And I
Well-
don't have a solution. Of course, I don't have it. I have.
Can I say
Well,
something
the
really quick?
solution is if that happens, if a trans woman did something, which I don't really think it happens that much, they get arrested. It's against the law.
it's
They're
already
not
a
allowed to do that.
crime.
Yeah, they're not allowed to do that.
And I
So,
can
so
take it
we're
personal.
talking about stuff that's not on the books, not a crime. So there's no law against trans women going into the women's room because it's a public
Right.
space. So if all I'm hearing is that it makes you uncomfortable and it's inappropriate, it makes you uncomfortable, they should use the men's room. Is that all?
I don't actually. I would recant that because if we're just going off of
Okay.
non-legislative stuff, I personally am against the trans stuff, and I'm pretty right-leaning.
Yeah.
But I still don't care if it doesn't. I'm going there to do my business and leave. I'm not going in there to set up a block party.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what I
not like staring everybody down to
So-
double
I
check
have
what's going on.
mean? And for other men here,
Hold on,
and I know
Luffy.
that other-
Luffy,
I know
hold on,
that
hold on,
other-
Luffy. I got you. I'll come to you in a second, Luffy. Just
I know
stand
that
by.
other men here are probably going to agree with me, but even men, we have an unspoken rule. When you go into a urinal, you look straight forward and keep your eyes straight. That's you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me. Do what you
Wait,
want.
we're supposed to look straight?
Guys.
Well, I mean, you get my point though.
Yeah,
Is that
so-
it doesn't really matter.
I
You know
think
what
there
mean?
is some laws. There is some laws because
There are.
public
Utah
bathrooms
and Florida.
are public bathrooms are semi-private, right? Because you can't be just peeking over and looking in the stall, right? They're semi-private, semi-public. Regardless, there's no law against trans women going into the women's room. So if the only issue I'm going somewhere, is the only issue it's inappropriate, uncomfortable, go to the men's room. That's it. Real quick, just say you're an adult. I already know you're an adult, but just say you're an adult for the live. Luffy and John, are you an adult?
Yeah, I'm an adult.
No,
Alright.
you're potato.
I am an adult potato.
You're a potato.
Fully matured.
Okay.
Um,
And
John-
John, yeah.
So
John's an
John is
adult.
the John, potato's the potato. All right.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm going
I
somewhere.
don't know if I said that.
I'm going somewhere. Is that it? You're just uncomfortable. It's inappropriate, uncomfortable. That's how you feel. Yes or no? I'll take that as a yes.
Who you
Wait,
asking?
who?
Okay. Anybody? Is that the issue? All right. Well, she's gone now. But
So it is illegal in Utah and Florida if you are trans.
Should it be?
Should it be?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think that there's a good enough enforcement mechanism for it in order to justify it. Like, I don't think there's any way of enforcing that law without constitutional
Okay.
violations. So
Okay.
no.
Sure. There are some states that make it illegal, but okay. But I can just say, should it be? Should it be illegal? All they do is they
No.
don't talk to
Um,
anybody. Hold on. They don't talk to anybody. They go in. They go in and piss. They do their business. They wash their hands. They get out. That's it.
yeah, but
Yeah,
Bring
I
it.
don't think it should. I don't think it should be illegal.
they have
And the reason.
consequences though.
Well, hold on. Yeah, the consequences should all be social and cultural, not legal.
Because you're
Um,
uncomfortable. Because the women are uncomfortable.
Yeah, so if you're going to be an individual within society that seeks to make people uncomfortable, like I really hate it when people don't shower and then they ride on public transit with me, but that's not
Yeah.
illegal, you know?
Yeah.
Coach,
So
thanks for having me on. I gotta bounce out of here, but I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, Judah.
like, should it be illegal? No, because how would you what is the enforcement mechanism that you would use and how would you go about it?
So if the reason is so, John and Luffy, you agree trans women should not go into the women's room because of
Correct.
uncomfortability?
I,
All
Not
right.
not
All
I
right.
agree with
not
that.
not necessarily.
I don't agree with that it should be illegal. It's a
Okay.
sexual preference type of thing. So it's,
Okay, I'm going to go to my point. Luffy, your audio is really bad. I don't know if you can fix that. We can barely hear you, Luffy. All right, so I heard you out. I waited for something other than uncomfortable, inappropriate, so I'm going there. If being uncomfortable and because you feel like it's inappropriate for certain type of humans to not go into a public space, let's say their group of people is uncomfortable with black people in their bathroom. It just makes us uncomfortable.
But
So
that would
just so we're uncomfortable because there's a group of people that don't want black people in their bathroom. So should they
well
leave just because they're
well
uncomfortable?
well no, I would say that's a false equivalency fallacy because one principle is based off preemptive protection while the other one is based off racial hierarchy.
Well, no, they're both based on being uncomfortable.
Yes, but one holds a more moral stance than the other.
Well, morals are going to be subjective, okay? But
Yeah,
they're both
But
they're they're
hold on.
both because you're uncomfortable.
yeah,
Why
but
would you say one's
but
more moral than the other?
yeah, because the mere possibility of male violence demands preemptive protection, which is under
But
precautionary
but
principles.
again, that's already illegal. It's already illegal.
Yeah,
So, like I
but
said, John, the only thing that's already on the books, the only thing that they're doing, they're going in, they're not talking to anybody. I mean, they may not. It's not. They can talk to somebody if they want to, but they're not harming anybody. Piss, wash hands, leave because you're uncomfortable. That's not
Well,
good. That's not a good enough reason.
so
well,
wait, is your position, John,
uh-huh.
that there has been a greater increase in violence since individuals who are trans have started gaining culturally approved access to bathrooms rather than when desegregation occurred?
No, I don't base it off threshold logic under my stance
Well,
because
hold on. You said it's based on the statistical increase of violence against women.
no, I never
So
said that.
yes, you did. You said it was
No,
based
no,
on
hold
the
on.
increase in violence.
Wait, hold on. No, I don't need a statistical justification in order to prove a moral
That's a good
stance.
point. That's a good point. In the
You
chat.
need something to establish
N-
morality, and you've given
Well,
nothing except for
well,
Philbro
well,
like
no, potato.
word
Well, hold on.
salad.
Well, because you're strawmanning my entire argument because I'm not basing it off threshold logic.
Can you pin that comment, Duchess?
The reason
I'm
why I
not
don't,
straw manning your logic. I'm testing
can I
your
talk?
logic, and those are two very
But
different
you haven't
things.
tested my logic if I can't speak. Can you let me speak?
Yeah, you can go
Okay,
ahead and speak. It's
Let
okay
the
to be
white man
frustrated.
speak.
thank you. Yeah, so I don't base it off threshold logic because that argument implies there's an acceptable amount of harm or risk if violence is under a certain threshold, then it's okay, which treats women's safety as a number, not a principle. So no, I don't base it off how many times has a trans woman attacked a woman in the bathroom. It doesn't matter. That's not the premise of that's not the principle of the conclusion that I'm trying to draw here. My conclusion is that the mere possibility of male violence demands preemptive protection because precautionary thinking says even if an action carries even a credible possibility of harm, it must be avoided even without statistical certainty.
Most men are not violent, John. 1%. How many men? What percentage of men do you think
I,
have been like convicted of violence? Like it's 1%.
But I'm not saying, hold on, I'm not making the claim that men cannot be violent or that there are non-violent
Most
men. It's that
99% of men are not violent, are not going to be like random violent like that.
that's fine, but you don't see me going into the women's bathroom, do you?
No. But
Right,
what's
because
the
I have
issue?
a moral standard.
Right, but what's is the issue that you're just uncomfortable? Women are just uncomfortable.
Host,
No,
that wasn't
no.
my stance. I thought you were talking to someone specific.
Luffy, I apologize, man.
You're
I'm
hard
nothing
to hear,
against
bro.
you. It's nothing against you, but your audio sucks. So I'm gonna drop you down. It's nothing against you
I'm an
personally,
adult,
man.
by the way.
I'm sorry, host. Can you just repeat it one more
Yeah,
time?
yeah. Okay, is it that's already on the so violence is already on the books. It's illegal.
Uh-huh.
If someone does that, they're going to be arrested or they should be arrested.
Mhm.
So we're talking about stuff that's not illegal, which is just going in, wash your hands, and leaving. What is the issue? Is it just uncomfortable?
No, it's about sex space. It's about sex protections of spaces for
Because they feel like it's
biological.
inappropriate. It's because it's uncomfortable.
No, I just think that we as a society should have a moral standard that females deserve rights, dignity, and respect away from the male sex, even if you're not violent.
Why?
So I guess my question is do you think it should be a law? Because I agree with you on a cultural standard.
I don't.
I don't
Mhm.
think that if you're trans, you should be going into women's spaces because I think that there's a level of inappropriate. That's my personal view, though. Why should
Right.
I make it a law?
I don't think so. That's the tricky part here is that because it's a public space, there's public and there's private institutions when it comes to bathrooms. But for public spaces, it's a little bit hard. I don't necessarily know how to control that as a person, but I do know that there has been safeguarding procedures put in place, especially in Florida and in Texas, that you will be charged over $10,000 if you're found going into the wrong sex bathroom. And then you will also be
Can I jump in
convicted of
here
a
real
criminal
quick?
charge. Sure.
Because I want to clear the confusion about this. I am an adult. I'll say it again. The Florida law does not say you will be charged with a crime if you go into the wrong bathroom.
I'm pretty sure I have the
So
source for that.
yeah, please put it up.
Okay.
What it does talk about is if you're in a government facility and one of the government employees asks you to leave that bathroom or change the room and you don't comply, that's when you get charged. So if you just walk into a woman's bathroom as a trans woman, you use the bathroom and leave, they're not going to stop you randomly and arrest you. That's not what's going to happen. So this is only if a government employee interacts with you, asks you to leave, and you don't comply.
Okay,
And again, this is in government spaces.
yeah, you might be right. So I am reading it from the ACLU of Florida. It says that generally the law applies to bathrooms and changing facilities in state government buildings, including courthouses,
Yep.
legislative offices, public benefit offices, and other state agency offices, city or country government buildings, libraries, tax collectors, and
Yes. Public buildings.
HSMV
Yeah,
offices,
public
state.
buildings. But again,
Right.
Yeah.
but
Public buildings is the easiest way to say that.
but the key part about it, it's not like when someone pew someone, they leave the scene, they get found and then they get charged. It's not like that at all, right? So in realistically, trans people can still use those bathrooms as long as they don't get told to get out their bathroom, and they still would have to not comply, because that's the key part of that law as well. If they comply, then there's no issue.
All right, real quick.
Seemingly, anyways.
Look at the screen real quick. Look at the screen real quick, John, or whatever.
Yeah, what's up?
Boom, 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 boom. Do you have any issue with these people using the women's room?
Well, I mean, if we're going based off false
Just
perception,
yes or no?
do I have any issue with any of these people using the women's
Yeah.
restroom? Well, I mean, if you're basing it off of that, I can't tell.
Can I get a yes or no first? Just, you can say whatever you want. Just say yes or no first.
Sure, I'll say yes.
You do have a problem with
No,
these
I'm
people.
sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, no, I don't.
Okay. Well, are they trans or not?
Are they trans or not?
Yeah.
I mean, perception can be false. Yes.
Well,
I,
they could be, right?
Mhm. But that
Ha-
doesn't defeat the objective reality that those people are still males.
right,
The
but
objective reality you can't prove.
You're not looking in their
Wait,
pants.
You
okay,
can't
okay.
quantify it.
So,
Like
wait. So this is what I have a problem with false perception because by your logic, any rule can be broken as long as that person isn't caught. That's not a
Well,
moral society. You're just that's opportunism
well, I
dressed
mean,
up as tolerance, my friend. So hold on. The,
yeah,
hold on.
but hold on, yeah, but there's great, crimes. Some crimes are worse than others. So like going 51 in a 50 is a crime. Agree?
Wait, I'm glad you brought that up because
Is going 51 in a 50 a crime?
is going 51 and a 50 a crime?
Yeah,
No.
it is a crime. Yes, it is. You broke the
That's
law.
a crime.
Wait, no, actually, no. I'm pretty sure there's actually
1 to 5 miles per hour over the speed limit
yeah,
is
No,
there's
there,
five
prohibited.
there.
miles, 5 or 10 miles
Yeah,
per hour
what?
over the
Hold on.
state's
No,
speed.
1 to 5 miles per hour, and then 5 to 10. Those are two different
Is
levels
that
of
1 to
tickets.
5? What?
Yes, there is 1 to 5
Yeah,
miles per over
it's a
over the
speed
speed
limit.
limit. It is a lower level ticket than a 5 to 10.
I thought it was
So
like
yes,
5
you're
to
I
10.
not.
promise you, my pastor got pulled over. I swear to God, and the cop was having a bad day. I think he didn't like him for some reason. He gave him a ticket. Obviously, it got dismissed, but he got a ticket for going 51 and 50.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious when everybody thinks like the 5 mile rule. Like the 5 mile rule is accepted by courts because there's a room of error with radar that you can prove. But if you are going over the speed limit, you have committed a crime. And like you said, it's
Hmm.
objectively a crime, even if it's perceived as not being because the radar gun was not working. So do we live in a moral
Oh,
society?
my bad. I
Well,
accidentally put you on mute.
well, hold on, because rules are not optional just because somebody passes as something that they're not. Like we don't build like
Well,
public policy.
the 5 mile
Well,
rule is permissible. Hold on, the 5 mile rule with speeding is permissible because radar guns have a tendency to be error within 5 miles, and so they're able to be proven in court as not being accurate enough to determine your speed.
Yeah, it's going to be
So,
dismissed.
so would that be that perception is permitting an immoral society?
well,
That's
yes,
a
I
good
think.
point, John. Or potato. That's a good point.
Well, I think if you're going to live in a society based on perception, then I think that's not a moral society. Because if you're saying that identity itself, if you're saying identity overall,
No one's
I'm
going to be
sorry,
100%. No
if perception
societies.
alone, if
Mhm.
perception alone determines somebody's identity, then who's to say if somebody was to say that I'm a 15-year-old based off perception,
Okay.
even though I'm 24,
Don't
does that
Well,
make it
please,
true?
hold
please
on.
don't bring up kids. I don't want to talk about kids. Try to make
Oh,
your point
okay,
without bringing
sure.
up kids. Okay, but here's the point. So no society is going to be 100% moral. It's impossible. We're human. So if people are going to go 51 and 50, people are going to go way higher than that. And trans women are going to go into the women's room and no one's going to know. You
Can,
Yeah,
have
but
no
can,
idea what's in their pants.
can I
yeah,
No
but
idea,
Well,
right?
interject here?
and
well,
here's the thing, John.
It's not going to hurt
When
anybody.
when we have this issue, it is a perceptive issue because in order for someone to be stopped for a crime, it has to be reasonable and articulable. So if a trans woman goes into a female bathroom, what is your reasonable, articulable suspicion that they have committed a crime?
well, I would
How
say
have
they
you
commit.
perceived it?
Well, I think if any males pass the boundary of entering a woman's space, then personally, I think you're a predator.
Right, but you have
Well,
to have
hold on.
articulable. Yeah.
That's not what I
Mhm.
said.
Yeah.
Focus
But
on what I
yes,
said.
but it
All
wouldn't be
right. If a
necessarily a
hold
crime.
on.
No,
Okay. If a trans
Legend,
just a
woman
law.
hold on. If a trans woman goes
Legendary, I'm gonna switch
into
you out.
the female bathroom, how are they going to have a reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime in order to charge them if you think it ought be illegal?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. How are you going to reasonably articulate suspicion that a crime has been committed if a trans woman goes into a female bathroom if you think it ought be illegal?
That's a good
Well,
question.
it's not about them doing a crime. It's about them being in the bathroom that they shouldn't be in the first
No,
place.
no. See, if we're going to make it illegal, we have to be able to give our law enforcement body the ability to enforce the law, or else it's not law. Okay, international law is not law because we don't have an enforcement body that's willing to do anything about it. The United States has been called to The Hague like 40 something times, and we've never gone. All right,
Hey, real
so we
quick.
don't recognize it.
I don't want to tell you echo chamber. Make sure everyone disagrees with me. Potato, you can stay, but Jada, Are trans women? Yes or no? And
No.
Levi. Trans women. Okay, so you're with John and Levi. You're with John as well.
The trans women are.
Okay. I'm gonna drop you. Levi. It's nothing against you or Levi. I want
You're good, bro.
opposition.
It's fine.
I want opposition. Yeah.
So Potato, what I'm coming from is that under my perspective, I think it's about upholding a standard rather than waiting for evidence of harm to occur in the first place. I don't think
it should be a law.
well, no, I don't think it should be a law, but I think there should be some sort of precautionary principles put in place to charge these people, whether it be a fine or whether it be something else.
Oh, okay. So how are you going to enforce that? If you are insisting that there should be a fine or there should be a precautionary principle or something, you have to be able to enforce that. So how are you going to enforce that?
Well, society can enforce it because we
Well,
have
no, society can't just give out fines. We don't have hall
well,
pass monitors.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they can find them, but society can overall dictate those people not to use that bathroom because we as a
Hold on.
society.
We already do that. We already do that. If we have individuals in our society who are willing to say, "Hey, you're not welcome in this space right now," even though it's not illegal, we're not going to permit you to do that. Okay, and they do this all the time in private facilities, schools, etc. All right, but what I'm asking is, if you think it ought to be a moral principle of our society, then you think it ought to be a law, correct? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, repeat that last part.
If you think it ought to be a moral principle of our society as a whole, you think it ought to be a law, correct? There
I
should
mean,
be
I get,
consequence, right?
yeah, I would say so. That yeah, I think there
Okay,
should be
how are you
consequences.
going to enforce it?
Well, that would be based off the individual giving the benefit of the doubt if this person is well. I mean, are we talking about passable trans people?
No.
He's asking you
I'm not
whether
saying
you have
passable or
Anybody.
not passable.
He's
I
asking you
mean,
if somebody's going to go to the bathroom and examine genitals. That's what he's
yeah.
asking.
Well,
Okay,
no,
can I
that's
interject here?
certainly
Can
a
I say
way.
something,
Well,
please?
no,
Can I say
nobody's.
something?
I would say ID checks. You don't have to, you know,
That's a Fourth
look at
Amendment
someone's
violation.
genitalia.
That's hold on. Why do you think they should be able to violate constitutional rights?
Yeah, you have rights of privacy or identity, Fourth Amendment.
Sure, then I guess you wouldn't be able to use that bathroom then. I mean, I don't see a problem with me showing my ID marker that it says
Yeah,
male
but
on my ID.
No, John is or Potato is asking what is stopping them from walking in. How do you
Yeah.
Nothing.
enforce it?
Why should I have to show my license so that I can use the bathroom? What if I don't have my license on me? Am I just supposed to piss my pants?
Oh my God, bro.
Well,
Can I
this
say
is kind
something,
of this
please?
is
John,
this is kind of going into like unless the law forces me to stop violating your rights, I'll keep doing it. Like until the law actively steps in to make me listen to your clear no as a woman that no, you cannot enter my space. That no means absolutely nothing to me, and I will keep
Well,
invading your
now who's
spaces
straw
regardless if
manning?
you like it.
Hold on.
That's not
Now
a
who's
straw
straw?
man.
Yeah, it is. You're focusing on one part of the argument. You're not focusing anything on the legal enforcement body because that doesn't make your argument. It actually destroys it.
Well, no, it would come up to a collective society to enforce this law, not just the individual. So if you're asking me personally, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, so the only way to really enforce this without like literally looking at people's genitals would be to have an ID checker at every public restroom with like a gate that goes up and down, and you have to stick your ID in order to get in.
And just to keep in mind, everyone's fine for now, but I do want opposition. So it's kind of 2v2, I guess. One more spot for opposition. But John Doyle, look at this. All right, so this person is in the woman's room. What is there an issue?
Is there an issue? No.
Yeah. There's no issue, right?
No.
All right, that's a man. That's a male. But
Okay.
you wouldn't know that, right? You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
Again,
And it doesn't. What does it matter? They just walk in, do their business, and leave. It doesn't hurt anybody.
Do I have a reasonable expectation of privacy if I'm going to use the restroom, John?
I'm sorry, what?
Do I have a reasonable expectation of privacy if I use the restroom?
Do you have a reasonable expectation of privacy if you use the restroom?
Yeah.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have privacy to use the restroom.
A reasonable
Fantastic.
expectation of
So
privacy.
so if I have a reasonable expectation of privacy to use the restroom, then why?
I'm sorry, then what?
Or like qualify with a pecker checker at the door, Why should I have to show my ID, or why should I have to qualify with a pecker checker at the door? Like, how are you going to enforce this? Because if you have a law, you must empower your enforcement body to do it. Should they be able to do it based on how, if they perceive someone to be trans,
Hmm.
or should they just do it to everybody?
Well,
Yeah.
I think they should do it
Like,
if
how
it's based off
much?
Oh,
the
thank you,
perception
judges.
of. I think it's based off the perception of somebody being trans.
So
Because
now
like
So
what
you
you're
think we
saying
should
is,
profile people based on
but
what we
wait a
think they
second.
might be?
Wait a second, but now you're also couching in like stereotypical Western beauty standards, right? Because the vast majority of people who have
as if the
been
trans community doesn't. But okay.
no, yeah, but like so no, a lot of them don't, and
But they do.
the vast majority of people who have been hauled out or like accused of being in the wrong bathroom have been cisgender women who are
Yeah, there's
either
some masculine
butch,
women looking like, yeah.
butch or masculine
Hmm.
or dykish or whatever, or just just don't appear to
I
somebody
I
who's
feel like
snotty,
I feel like that you're
right?
making the
Those are
point
the
as you're just saying that just because trans women and trans men exist, meaning that you're trying to gaslight my reality as if I can't tell the difference who's male and who's female.
yeah. No,
Yeah, but
I'm that's
Like here's the
exactly
thing, like
Well,
hold,
you
but
that's
here's
just didn't.
here's
exactly
Hold on, you
but
just
here's
didn't.
but here's the
But
thing,
John,
right?
you just didn't.
Well,
He
because I
Yeah, I
was
showed you a picture,
You
John.
perceived it as a
I
woman.
understand that.
Okay, can
It's
I
you're
say
not being
something?
No, no,
you're
hold
not
on,
Can I
being
say
hold on,
something?
gaslit.
Hold
Can
on.
I say something?
No, no, no,
Can
hold
I
on,
say
hold on.
something,
Wait, wait,
please?
yes, after John, then Jada.
Okay, so can I go?
Yeah.
So I think it's also a dangerous phenomenon here is that the trans community has failed to gatekeep what it means to be trans because how is a woman supposed to know the difference between somebody who's actually trans using the bathroom versus an AGP who's just going in there for like some sort of paraphilia fetish? Because there has been documents, and I know that I said that I don't need statistical justification in order to prove a moral argument, but statistically, it has happened.
Yeah,
So
I
I would
mean,
so I
yet again, you're not making an argument.
well no
So
because this
you're
opens
saying what
paradox.
if.
This opens up the
How
paradox
is that
clause.
not
It
an
doesn't.
argument,
It's
though?
moving the goalpost.
But
Hold on,
but
it's moving the goalpost
but it's
because
not.
the argument is
How is
what
it a
whether it ought to
goalpost?
be illegal and how. Hold on, how because it has nothing to do with the fact of why we should make it illegal and how it's going to be enforced.
Well, no,
It has
because
to do with we're going to give you the thought that these individuals could all potentially be predators. Which, hey, look, I agree with you. There are more
Who
individuals
said
that are
all of them? Because
autogynephilia than
there's
there are
only some
trans.
of
So
them.
well, Potato, what I'm
so
trying to argue here, Potato, is that the trans community has failed what it means to be trans. There's people who saying that non-binary is under the trans umbrella. You don't need gender dysphoria in order to be trans. You can simply just wake up one day and actually go to the California office and change your ID from male to female without a court order. You can change it on your ID, your spouse certificate, and your birth certificate. So, like,
well,
what?
that goes even further. How does an individual who has gone to the California License Bureau done this,
hold
and then
on,
goes into the bathroom? How are you going to check them now?
What are you trying to show,
hold
Weasley?
on.
What
Yeah,
My
exactly?
my
so
issue isn't that I
throwing back up
disagree
on the
with you
date
on
stream for a
principle.
second.
I agree with you on principle, all right. But when we're talking about the enforcement of the
Yeah.
law, how are you?
You can't enforce it. Potato's saying that you can't enforce it.
I
Now,
understand that.
I already showed my hand. I showed my aces that this is a male.
Hmm.
No one can tell. Just be honest. No one's gonna have an issue. So they're not hurting anybody. There's no issue.
So
I definitely dated
Right,
trans.
there's
Yeah.
no issue with her because she actually transitioned.
well,
But
Okay,
here,
but
He's
even
talking about the people
but
that
somebody
do it
might be like,
to.
but there's women that real like females,
Adam,
female
can I
women
get the
that
screen?
yeah. Hold on, Ainsley. There's female women that look way more masculine than this person. Like, what do you? This is why your definition of adult human female sucks because as a society, we're not looking at people's underneath the pants. We're looking at their appearance. Which I don't know if you've seen my definition of woman. Which my argument, guys, is my argument is adult human female is applicable in some sense, but we don't use that 99% of the time. We go off someone's appearance. An adult
Yeah.
person whose
So
appearance
the
and
1%
mannerisms.
matters over the 99%.
Well, no, we don't know. We don't do this. We don't go in society and be like, oh, female, male. I see your female, male part. We look at their appearance. If
Okay, so
you're
I'm gonna go ahead and say what I have to say because I'm
go
about to
ahead.
have to drop. So I'm tired of like I've heard certain people on other panels say, "Oh, I just want to go in there and use the restroom. I'm not the bad one. I'm the good one." Okay, no, we can't. Correct. We can't stand there and police everybody that comes in there and decipher.
Yeah, it's
Okay, you're a
unenforceable.
good guy. You're a bad guy. And no, we can't check every person's pants. But there are people that get great behind closed doors and don't get caught. That doesn't make it okay. There are people that get
That's already
recorded
illegal.
and don't know about it, but that doesn't make it okay. It's not a
I'm not
flex
saying it's
to
okay.
be
It's
able.
just already on the
It,
books.
it's not a flex to
But what are we
be
gonna do
able
as
to
people to help get
say.
these people caught
It's not a flex to be able to
and actually
say,
in
okay, well,
trouble?
I'm woman passing, so basically you'll never know. I can do it. Like that's predatory behavior. It's not a flex to be able to say that at all. It's about boundaries and having common sense and knowledge and respect. Like I have a question. Why
Hmm.
do T women feel like they absolutely have to use the women's restroom?
Or why
Because
the
they
fuck do
look
they
like
say they
them.
get periods and they don't?
It's, it's individual basis.
Yeah,
Okay.
Burnout. You're an adult, correct?
Yeah, I'm 21, 10,
And
2603.
okay, great. And then, do you think that trans women are women, or adult human female?
An adult human female.
Okay,
I believe
share
that
opposition.
you are
Perfect.
whatever you want to be as long as you stand on that. As long as you stand on being on who you are and not have
Hmm.
alternative intentions, then there's no why is there a problem if you don't have alternative intentions? If you're actually trans and you're trans, that doesn't
Okay,
hurt
so
me at the end of the
you do
day.
think that trans women you do think a woman is adult human female, but you don't have an issue with the bathrooms. You don't have
I
an
have
issue
an
with
issue with the bathrooms to an extent.
to an extent.
To an extent. You
Okay.
have to have alternative intentions. And I understand that it's already
Okay, so
illegal,
they
but
have
sometimes things that are illegal doesn't stop the issue.
right. So you're saying like someone has malicious intent.
Right.
So I'm
Because,
just
like, as a woman, I can tell who's there just to, use the
yeah.
bathroom, and then who's there to be a
Well,
fucking
that
weirdo and just
again,
sitting at the
yeah,
mirror.
yeah, prying like peeping tom, like that's already illegal. That's already illegal. It's illegal to assault someone and to creep on them. It's already illegal. But I'm just saying, a trans woman just does her business, pisses, wash your hands, and gets out. What's the issue with that?
There's no issue with it, but there's
There you
an issue
go.
with people that go in there and
No,
have
we can
alternative.
decipher which ones are going to do that
All
and
right,
which
can
ones
I
aren't. So it's like,
can I
okay,
Well, you don't know
so
what anyone's gonna do when they walk into a public.
If
yeah.
there's if
If
it's
I
a fucking
right,
trans person
right.
sitting in front of the mirror, just sitting there taking videos and pictures, they're wanting to listen to people take a piss. A lot of
can
trans
I
people
But
have
do you,
piss
do you
fucking
know the
fetishes
statistics
hold
and
on,
the
Okay,
hold
no,
on,
one at a
hold
time.
on.
One at a
women
time.
that have
So
essayed?
One at a time.
so
Like, it
what's
got
the
so bad
difference
at my school they
between
made gender
hold
neutral
on?
bathrooms.
What's the difference
Okay.
between a trans woman doing that
Ainsley,
and just
fix
a
your
woman doing
screen.
that?
Fix your screen.
What's wrong with my
Because they're
screen?
not there to listen to other females piss. It's
What's
not
wrong
a.
with
It's
the?
not
You
a
don't
normal
hold
female
on. What
isn't
you're
a man
talking hold on.
transitioning
What
into a
you're
male.
hold
Adam,
on.
I
What you're
can't.
talking about is intent to commit a crime, and that is a genderless thing. A female is just as capable
Whether it's
of
genderless or not, it's a
in
crime
the
they're still
intent.
trying to commit. It's the crimes that they try to commit, whether
I
it's a
I
neutral crime.
agree. I agree.
Right.
What
So
I'm
if we're
saying,
agreeing, why are
hold
you
on.
trying to
No.
disagree
Let
with me
him
right
finish.
now?
Let
Hold
potato
on.
finish.
What I'm saying is what's the difference between a woman or a trans woman if they walk into the bathroom and their intent is to commit a crime?
Do you know the
They're both
statistics on
criminals. I mean,
trans
there's really
women
no
that have
difference other than the fact
essayed?
they're
One at a
both fucking
time,
criminals.
ladies.
Hold
One
on.
at
Why
a
are you
time.
trying to
Hold on.
separate them?
Why am I trying to separate them? Because they're separate.
Yeah,
No.
but
Well, if they're separate,
Trans
then
women
maybe
aren't
they need their
women.
separate bathroom. If that's
That's
your
why I'm
logic.
making the distinction. A woman is an adult human female, and a trans woman and is a man who's transitioning socially or
So why
physically.
don't they get their own bathroom if they're not technically just a woman? That's my point.
Because our society doesn't have the infrastructure to support that.
but
That's
we
like
Well,
do.
they
asking why
actually do
everyone
because
doesn't
my
drive
tech
an
school
electric
literally
car.
made a whole bunch of gender neutral bathrooms, more bathrooms than the men's and the women's.
That's awesome. We're not all going to
And
your
more
school.
places are trying to push for that, but people like you are like,
I
oh no,
agree.
equality, equality, equality.
People like
Meanwhile,
me,
you're
you didn't
making it
even
a less
hold
safe
on.
environment
You
for actual
didn't
trans
ask my
people that are
position.
actually
You're just
transitioning. Like my friend Lexi, who's known as Lucas before, they're now a female.
that's fine. Yet
Right.
again,
So why
my
are you trying
position
to
is
separate them and then saying like, oh, they should use the same bathroom when you know that's not the safest option for them
I
or
got you,
other
Ainsley.
people?
I'm trying to give
you didn't
opposition
what's
a
you don't
chance.
even know my position.
I don't care about your position because you've been saying
I know
malarkey
you
this whole
don't.
entire time.
I've
Yeah,
not
you
been
don't
saying
care about
malarkey. I've been saying,
position.
how are you going to
You've been saying
enforce this?
malarkey.
Okay,
Yeah.
you just have an inability to perceive speech. All right, that's not my fault. Read a book.
Don't know what you mean by that,
So
bro.
so Ainsley's gonna
That had
go.
nothing to
Ainsley's
do
gonna
with
go
it.
real
That
quick.
makes
So
sense that you don't know what I mean by that.
I
But
don't, but you're just sitting here saying that trans woman is a woman, but they're actually different.
no, I
Can that
didn't.
make
I said a
sense?
trans woman is
A
not a
woman is
woman.
a
Did you
woman,
listen?
but a trans woman
You
is not a woman,
okay?
and
Two
they're
ears,
separate. Is what
one
you said,
mouth.
potato.
All right, you were born with 2 ears, one mouth. All
And
right,
I'm using
listen
them
to
to
the
my best
words that are
abilities
coming
with
out
the
of my mouth.
ADHD that was
Burnout,
given
stop
to
being
me.
rude. Stop being
No,
rude,
Okay.
Burnout.
No,
I'm
I
really
already
not being
said
rude.
that
How
a
am I
Yeah,
not
you
trans
rude?
are.
woman.
How?
I said a trans woman is not a woman. A woman is an adult human
Exactly.
female. They are different. I already said that. You didn't listen. So you
I
need
did
to
listen to that, and
understand.
I asked you a question. So if they're different, how are you making them the same in the same breath? How are you
Not.
gonna say that they're different, but in the same breath say that they're the same, and they should use the
I,
same bathroom, but they're different?
I didn't say that ought be. I didn't
You
make
did
an
say
ought
that.
claim. No, I
Jada,
didn't.
John,
I did not make an
Wait,
ought
did
claim of
he?
that. I actually made
Ainsley's
the
gonna.
opposite.
Did
I
he or
said
did
it.
he not?
I said
Am
it
I losing
ought
my
not
mind?
be that,
All
but
right, take a
has
Is
break.
to
this
Take a
make it
break.
blunt
illegal.
hitting me
Take a
a
break.
little too hard
All
than
right,
what it should?
take a break. Take a break. Take a break. Sit on the bench. Sit on the bench. Drink some Gatorade. Drink some Gatorade. Ainsley wants to go. Before Ainsley goes, this is a problem with the anti-trans, the gender critical, whatever you call yourselves, because you can't find the real issue with just anyone just going in, walking out. You can't find a real issue with that because I can't find an issue. And your
Didn't I just get
definition of
done
adult.
saying I
Oh,
couldn't find
hold
an
on,
issue?
almost done. And
I
your
just said
definite.
earlier.
Oh, your def. Okay,
Right,
Burnout. Stop being
right.
rude. Stop being rude. Your definition, adult human female,
Who?
is totally okay. Let me just drop you. Want to just drop? Go back to the comments, Burnout. Your
Okay,
definition of
that's
adult
fine. I
human
haven't been able to
female
talk this
is
whole time.
unapplicable. You don't know someone's specs because we're all clothed. What we do in society is this isn't an issue. We walk through the mall, we see men, women, man, no problem. We see them. That's a man, that's a woman. Because why? How do we determine that? Is it because of their schmecks? Because we can see it? No, it's their appearance. Looks like a man, looks like a woman. That's what a man and woman is. Go ahead, Easy.
Okay, so a couple things that I'm gonna say here. First of all, I don't know what you said. Fix my screen. I don't know what's wrong with my screen.
Because it's like into the chat. What are you trying to show?
Oh.
Just go ahead.
All right, so these three people up here, right? Just I want to play the same game that Adam played. Which one of these people should use the women's room, and which one should use the men's room?
Which one's
They
trans?
all actually
I
identify as
literally just went. I
They
literally
should
just
all
went
use the
and
women's
said that.
restroom.
They
Why?
should all use the.
Are they
women's
female,
restroom.
John?
Yes,
How do you know they're female?
because they look like they actually transitioned.
because I know who they are.
And one of them, the last one, that's actually a female.
You know that they're female, even if you know who they are. I know you
The
know
middle
who they
is
are.
trans. The
Hol-
second one's
Hold
trans.
on,
The one at
Burnout.
the
You're being
very end
rude.
is-
You're being rude.
Oh.
Okay,
So,
you're being rude.
Oops.
So
Um,
Sorry, guys.
John says he knows who they are. So respectfully, John, I appreciate that. The
Yeah.
rest of them say the middle person is absolutely trans. The middle person is actually Martha. She's like the most well-known gender criticalist on TikTok. She was born female, right? Y'all just said she was a man, right? It was also influenced that all three of these people transitioned, but they should use the women's room because they transitioned. So none of these people are trans. Every single one of these people is born female, right? The definition of a woman is not adult human female for any person in society. It's a person with genealogical, epigenetic, and phenotypical characteristics that denote to the female sex, i.e., if it looks like it, then it is that thing, right? And all the social norms that come with that, right? And the reason that I know that that's true is because adult human female necessarily excludes people who were born with typical female reproductive pathways who would otherwise be in this. And that's what would be disincluded because of medical practice.
Thank you, Ainsley.
Right?
No, nobody has to.
At the
Thank you,
end
Ainsley.
of the
Thank you, Ainsley. Thank you. All right, just real quick. No one has a problem with me saying that's a woman. All of them are women. All of them are women to me.
Yeah.
And to 99% of people. But if you say that a woman is adult human female, where's the female part? The female part doesn't show.
But you just said they look like females. So
Did you hear what
They
I
look like
said
women.
earlier?
Did anybody
The
hear what I
Women
women,
said
are
earlier?
females. Female is woman.
Well,
the
but
literal
I'm not looking.
definition
I
is
don't
an
see their
adult
female
and
parts.
female.
I see their appearance.
But you see that they're feminine appearance, right?
Yeah.
They're more
That's
feminine than
But
masculine.
could they be male? They could be. It
They
doesn't
could
Yeah,
matter.
but
be.
you
Doesn't
just got
matter.
done
Could
saying
be.
that sometimes females can look more
Crazy.
masculine. So if that's the
Yeah.
case, it could be seen for males as well.
Yeah, but they could be
No?
male. Does it matter? Does it
No,
matter?
it doesn't matter.
It
As
doesn't
long
matter,
as
right?
your intentions are pure, your
Doesn't matter
intentions
if
are
they're male.
pure.
So then the only issue here
Yeah,
is
people
the
just don't have
idea of
morals.
stereotyping beauty standards and looking at the trans community as as predators. That's the only real thing, because what you want to say, what you actually mean when you're talking about these things, is you're forming a stereotype of a dude with a beard
Do you know
and a
how you
wig.
feel
I'm
about
sorry,
Lilitino? Do
I'm
you know
sorry,
who that
I'm
is?
talking right now. I'm talking
Like, you've
right
been
now.
talking this whole time.
No, I haven't been talking this whole time. You've been interrupting everybody on this panel since you got up here, right? So what you're trying to talk about is a stereotype of a trans person, which is dude in a beard with a wig. Never mind, you're ignoring trans men altogether, and you're saying, I don't feel comfortable with these people who can just put on a wig one day and walk into a bathroom. And you know what? I'm a trans person and I don't feel comfortable with that. But you know what I also know? I can acknowledge that not everybody has the same genetics, not everybody looks the same, not everybody lives up to some Western idea of who should be walking up and down the runway. It's cis females who are the ones who are punished by these rules the most, and we do police bathrooms societally. We do know that a person with a beard and a wig shouldn't be in the women's bathroom, and that almost never happens. We do not punish people who aren't doing the wrong thing by telling them they can't do something because somebody somewhere might do the wrong thing. That's not how society works.
Yeah, it kind of is under a precautionary principle tense. Yes,
We
it
don't
does.
use the precautionary principle with
Yes, we
respect
do.
to almost all of our laws. Almost none of our
That's
laws are
not
based on
true.
precautionary principles.
Yeah,
No.
when you go through TSA, when you're getting inspected just because 9/11 happened, that means everybody else gets checked, even if they
Yeah, and
had
we
good
all
intentions.
Okay,
recognize
hold
that
on. You do.
Great
Hold
actions
on. Hold on.
are
Hold
Like
on.
what?
You
seen
do.
as well.
Hold on.
Like that's
Hold
the
on.
How is
precautionary
this hold
principle
on every
there.
time I say a fucking word?
Oh, hold on. Because I wasn't talking to you. When we talk about TSA, though, that's not a violation of your rights. All right. You're asking to use a private service, and this is their policy. This is not law.
Yeah, and
Those
there's
are two
nothing.
different things.
Wait, and there's nothing wrong with somebody checking their ID. Like what? I mean, if
So
you have
so
a
you want to
problem,
check?
Well, hold on, John. We've already established that they can get an ID in California that is not in line with their birth sex,
yeah,
so it's irrelevant.
that's appealing to legality, and it should be illegal.
Wait,
Okay,
wait.
you're
You
trying
appeal.
to
Wait,
establish a law.
checking their ID is appeal to legality. The IDs are
Yes.
legal.
Yes, but it's based off the precautionary principle of preemptive
No.
safety.
This isn't Minority Report. All right, like we're not going off of a
Whoa.
precautionary principle with our laws. What we're doing is we're establishing laws that can be enforced properly. And if a law cannot be enforced properly without violating constitutional rights, it shouldn't be a law. So tell me how that doesn't violate my Fourth Amendment rights to a reasonable right to privacy
How does it? It doesn't.
or a right to reasonable privacy, I should say.
Yeah, there's no. It's not like unlawful to check your ID with somebody. If you want
It,
to enter that space, I think you should be able to check that person's ID.
So
You
in
don't belong in
society,
that
we do
space.
check. Hold on, we check IDs for a few things. If you want to purchase adult beverages, you have to get your ID checked. All right. Now, what I have to ask is, how are you going to enforce this? Who's going to be in charge? Who's the pecker checker at the bathroom?
Yeah,
Okay. So
but
who's going to be checking the driver's licenses of every
As far
single
as I'm
individual?
concerned, homeless
Furthermore,
people need
for,
jobs
for,
so they can figure it the fuck out.
yes, hold on. That's fine.
I'm homeless.
Individuals that are under the age of 15, how are you going to check their IDs if they don't have one?
15-year-olds have IDs.
I mean, if that's the case, why do they let 18-year-olds be bartenders?
They don't.
They do. In the
In
state
some
of
states.
in Boston, Massachusetts, absolutely. Absolutely. What do you mean
Okay,
they
so
don't?
state laws.
what do you
Okay,
mean?
You're saying
we look at that,
18-year-olds can't serve bevs? Can't serve alcohol?
they can't serve alcohol beverages in my state.
Okay, well, it's different in every state. It's not the same everywhere you go.
Okay, great.
Okay, then. So why is your
18-year-olds,
point
hold
always
on.
infinitive?
So it's not infinitive. What the
All
fuck?
right.
Think of it the other way. Think of it the other way.
I think you meant empirical.
So
But
when
Yeah.
you
anyway,
yeah,
Yeah.
if
I
you want to
did.
check IDs, what you're saying is that say it's a female woman. What you're saying, and she looks very feminine. I can give you lots of examples. What you're saying is, I see you, but your appearance is not enough. It's not enough. I need to know what's in your pants. Show me your ID.
Yeah, because perception can be false.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So what's it?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. What's the issue?
Well,
No,
yes,
no,
you
no.
check.
Perception can be
There's people
false.
like James Charles that could dress up like a female,
So
go
what?
into the girls' bathroom, and be a freaking
so
nasty
hold on.
person.
The
So
question
they
is
talk
how
to
are you
freaking
going
minors.
to enforce this? Like, am I able to go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, before you use that bathroom, I'm a concerned citizen, and so I'd like it if you showed me your ID."
Yeah. All of these people. I got to get new pictures for next time. All of these people could be male. Does it matter? Does it matter what's in their pants? No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
They
The
could be male, but again,
the
Does it
whole thing
matter?
is, John, I agree with you on principle.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not of that biological sex, you should not use that restroom. That's my personal opinion.
mhm.
That's what you ought do, okay, as far as culturally normative moral behavior. All right. However, I'm not going to insist that a law be laid down because there's no way that they can lay down a law without violating constitutional rights, which I think are more morally imperative than you not being uncomfortable in the bathroom.
No, okay, sure. I understand that principle that you're trying to make. Yes, you disagree that male should not be entering the female space. However, it is empirically impossible to enforce law when it comes to public safety toilets. Yes?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of something, and neither can you, and neither can anybody on that side of the argument
Well, okay.
outside of
I
violating
guess the only
constitutional rights.
Okay.
I guess the only thing that you can possibly do is find this person if they are caught using that bathroom, which is what Texas has done.
How are they going about it?
What?
Like, if I have a reasonable expectation of privacy, okay, so
Who's
I
got
go
the
to the
noise?
bathroom, I have a reasonable expectation of privacy. How are they going to know? I go into the bathroom, I use it, I leave. How do they know my sex? Are
Well,
they going to use facial recognition software?
no.
Yeah, they
I mean,
haven't ID'd them. Yeah.
again, I know that the host is male just by looking at him. Like, I can tell majority of the time
Oh,
who's male and who's female.
oh,
Okay,
from
great. So are you going to personally enforce every bathroom across the United States because of your perceptive ability that is uncanny in determining the gender of somebody?
so
Well,
this
well,
definition is better.
we have to look at it that majority of trans people do not pass.
Easily.
Like, if we're talking about passability, yes, I agree. There's a lot of trans women who do pass, that do get surgeries, that do get facial feminization surgeries. Sure. But we're talking about the majority of trans women who do not pass whatsoever.
Adam, can I ask what that means? An adult
This is
person
a
whose appearance and mannerisms are primarily
yeah. This is
influenced by
the
female sex.
definition. You may or may not realize it, but this is the definition that we have in our minds, whether consciously or unconsciously, of what a woman is. We're walking in the mall, man, woman, woman, man. Are we checking if they're male or female? No, it's appearance.
I haven't been misgendered.
But what do you have to say about
15
people like
years.
Lily Tino, bro? That like literally try to like gaslight into people.
Oh yeah, I can tell.
thinking
I can
that-
tell that they don't. Latino, they don't do
But
a
there's
good job.
people like them. It's like that's
Well,
my point,
well,
and
wait
that's
a
like been
second,
my
Adam.
point the
We can
entire time. Like
recognize
they could,
we can recognize that the issue with Lily Tino is not that
but there's
Lily
people
Tino,
like Lily
we can
Tino.
recognize that
She's not the only person
we
that's
can
like that.
recognize that the issues with Lily Tino have nothing to do with them being trans, but have everything to do with their behavior in a semi-private facility. We can recognize the distinction between bad behavior and the underlying thing.
So then, what are we
trans.
gonna do
Just
to
in the
stop that
same way
behavior?
that we can
Like that's
recognize,
the whole
just in the same way we
question.
can recognize that lots of groups like white people and Muslims and black people
Why?
do
Well,
bad
then why does that
things,
matter? Why does
we
somebody's
can
race matter?
recognize that it is not inherent in their blackness or their Islamness or their whiteness. It's that person did a bad thing. And we don't ask white people to apologize for white people doing bad shit. We don't ask black people to apologize, or women or men. But why is it always that the trans person has to be super policing of every single possible trans person in the world? It's nonsense.
I mean, if I'm being 100%, I've totally been asked to apologize for the transgressions of my race and to
Yeah,
And
take
those
on
people are dumb.
hold on, and to take on the liability of that, and been told that I am inherently racist and that I have
correct.
been born with white privilege. So like these moral arguments are frequently made based on people groups.
I've
Yes.
never
Including
seen those
trans, I
arguments from the
recognize that, but
outside of TikTok.
hold on, every group that you've brought up, including black people being told to apologize for the transgressions that have been associated with their race in society, like this frequently happens because
Mhm.
people associate people in groups rather than as individuals, because that's a lot how our society was built on. So it's human, like I wouldn't say human nature, but our learned nature based on how our society has structured itself. I mean, and we've seen this with like Jim Crow laws. Like, people are frequently marginalized based on association rather than individual nature.
I agree.
Yeah, so back to that thing, Potato. So yeah, back to it. This is something that the anti-trans struggles with. They don't have a real reason of an issue with people in the bathroom when they're just doing their business and getting out. There's no issue with that. And no one uses adult human female in real life. Nobody uses that definition.
I do.
I do.
You check people's. You make sure they're female.
You
Is that
don't
what you
have
do?
to. No, you don't have to.
Well, how do you know they're female then?
Oh,
Well,
I got
can,
what you're saying. Okay, yeah,
can,
you're kind of
I mean,
right. You're kind of
Okay,
right.
all
I mean,
right.
That,
Wait,
like,
let's go back to the pictures. Let's go back to the
perception is
pictures.
reality. I get
okay,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
Okay,
you can,
hold on.
you
Wait. Hold on. Wait.
doesn't prove my argument.
Yes, it does. Listen. Okay,
No, it
adult
doesn't.
human female. Okay, ready? My definition, that's a woman. Yours is inconclusive, have no idea because you gotta get undressed.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
Can you observe a
really?
pregnant woman?
No. These women aren't pregnant. Okay,
Wait, no. Can you observe a pregnant woman?
I'm not observing a pregnant woman. I'm
Hold on.
observing these women.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
So he can give
What you're also
examples, but you
saying,
can't.
You can give examples, but I can't. Like what?
Yeah,
hold on,
like this is what
Adam,
this whole
It,
thing's been. Like
Well,
I
that
say
would be
something, I'm rude, I get
well,
talked
yeah,
over.
that would
hold
be
on.
that.
They
Hold
So,
give
on, wait.
examples,
Hold
you
on,
try to
wait.
give
That would be
examples, and then you get shut
all
down.
right. You know what? See
Yeah,
ya.
but
That would be an example where you would see you could determine if someone is pregnant. Okay. Now they could be wearing like I don't know, like a bump or something. But
Or something.
but 99. But most women are not pregnant, right? So how do you?
Yes.
Yes, most women are pregnant.
No, I said yes. I agree. Most women are not pregnant,
Most women are not pregnant, right? So you can't determine if they're female.
but you can just because
Really?
again, just yeah. Hold on.
Go ahead and determine that this person is female. Go ahead.
Okay. Again, you're just using
Again,
like
I
hold,
can't.
hold on. Wait, hold on. Just because you can use like 5 images to try and debunk my argument doesn't mean I still can't tell the difference between who's male and who's female.
Based
Like you're
on
just
what?
well, then,
wait. You're
hold
just
on.
using
Then what sex is she?
what sex is she?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume male.
You're
Male?
going to assume male?
Why would you assume male? So you have a problem with this person in the woman's room
If they're
because they're
male,
male?
yes.
Okay, so
What?
I get what you guys are both saying. So Adam is saying perception is reality. That's the argument that's being made.
Well,
Because if I see a bunch of people walking
Well,
around,
if
like if
if
all those images,
not
hold on, if
exactly,
all of
John or Potato. Sorry, I'm sorry.
okay,
Not
so
exactly, but perception is all we have.
yeah,
just
so
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
All right. If every one of those individuals was wearing a Star of David, would it be reasonable for me to assume that they're Jewish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is that in our society, being perceived as a woman is similar to wearing a costume jewelry.
No, because if you base society based around perception, that's opening up paradox box. That okay, so you told me not to bring up
Right.
age. Hold on, you told me not to bring up age,
And
but
you're not
this is
going to.
actually
Mm-mm. You're not going to
why
bring up
not?
children because this is my
I don't have to
policy.
bring up children. I don't have to bring up children.
You're going to bring up under 18?
No.
Okay.
So, if have you ever gotten somebody's age wrong by looking at them?
Of course.
Does that make it that age that you got wrong?
Well, I all I have is the evidence. So all I have is the evidence. So who's
But you're
making noise? Captain Vicky, you're getting dropped because you're making noise.
but you're saying that just because you perceive this person to be this thing,
Yeah.
that means it's
Here's what
true.
we have. So we both. I'm gonna get new pictures next time. All we have is appearance. This is all we have. We can't look at someone's pants. This is what we have. So we both have the same evidence. Now, how you're saying you make a determination is based on something that you can't see. You cannot see their their biology, what's below the
Okay.
belt. Okay, hold on,
Sure.
wait. This is why I'm saying my definition is better because I make a determination on whether they're a man or woman based on something that's observable and demonstratable, something that I can clearly see with my eyes, their appearance. I say all of them are women because they look like women. But you
Okay.
can't because you can't see you're basing it on something that you can't see.
So
Now,
okay.
now here,
So
just to prove principle here, if we
Well,
were to
let
go
him respond,
just
Potato.
all right,
John,
go ahead.
and then Potato. I'm done.
yeah. So like, I would ask you, do you have siblings?
Yep.
Do you have a sister?
Let's say I do. Yeah.
Or okay, let's say that you have a sibling, but you've never checked their genitalia. How do you know that your sibling's a male or female?
How do I know?
Yeah.
I've never seen their. Yeah, I wouldn't know. Like,
Wow.
how do you 100% know something? You talk about like a sister I've never met, and then she comes like, "Hey, I'm your sister."
No, I'm talking about your biologically born sister, but you've never seen their genitalia. How do you know that's a female?
How do I know it's a female? I wouldn't know it's a female.
See, that's kind of crazy
I
to
mean, I
me,
would
I'm gonna
have
be
more.
honest.
I would have more evidence because I grew up with them. But I'm just that again that you're bringing up children again, and you're bringing up a special.
Well,
You're
I
bringing
didn't
up
say
a hold on,
children.
wait. You're bringing up a special instance where I know them at a kind of a personal level because they were my sibling, very very close personal brother sister relationship. But what I'm saying in our everyday life, we're just walking down the street, at the store, at the mall. We don't know people's. We didn't grow up with them. We don't know people's. 99% of people we did not grow up with. We don't know if they're male or female. We just go on. That's a man. That's a woman based on appearance.
Again, I just think
Mhm.
I just think that's a gaslighting tactic.
No, it's not because
I do.
no, it's not because okay. Well, that's your opinion, but you can't defeat the argument. You can't
But
say your definition of adult human female is useless because are they
it's not.
women? It is because
Mm,
where's the female part?
Well, you do realize
Where's
that
the female
woman.
part, John?
Wait, hold on.
Yep.
You do realize that the labels themselves are the social constructs, but the referent, what the word points to, is what's observable, right? So, like,
Yeah, appearance. Yeah.
okay, but you're making a sociological claim how society interprets them. But just because society can interpret them with these roles, expectations, and behaviors, wouldn't make them a woman.
Wait a second. So
What are you
not
talking
only,
about?
but wait a second.
Wait,
Not only, hold on. Not only do you have to
Yeah.
disregard what trans people are saying they are, you also have to disregard what feminists, first wave feminists, define as women. You have to look at all of these women who fought for suffrage and property ownership and everything like that and tell them
Yeah.
that how they have set forth what a woman is wrong. So you also have to erase the totality of feminist literature, right? The other thing that you have to also recognize is that if you're going to like attempt to reduce something, we can apply that to other things. Let me ask you something,
I haven't
John.
reduced anything, but okay.
Do you think biology is immutable and can't change?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so can you define for me change? And just entertain,
Change.
yeah, just entertain me for 30 seconds. Can you
Yeah.
define change?
What do you mean by change?
The word change, what does it mean? Not the money stuff, like change. Can you define that word for me?
Change would just mean
Ooh, I can.
something that's different, or
Pick me, teacher.
to
Over
modify
time,
something.
right? Over
Yeah.
time. Differences over time. Great. So when I take a Tylenol, I've changed my biology. Biology is not immutable, right? It can be changed. It can be changed.
Your sex cannot change.
Yeah, hold on. Your sex can absolutely change, right? And the
Can you
reason that I know,
can you provide a source?
absolutely, the reason that I know that your sex can change, because what that word means is a combination of genotype, phenotype, and epigenetic pathways. That's what that word means. By any medical definition, that's what that word means. So when you get a biologist or a medical person up here and they say sex, right? They're not just talking about chromosomes, right? Which, by the way, many females have XY chromosomes. Females,
Yeah.
not trans women.
That's not my
females,
definition of female.
right? Females. So
I wouldn't say many, but yes, it does occur.
yeah, something, and
Very rare.
it's mostly, and the most prevalent place that you can find them at is professional sports. 8% of Olympic athletes that are female have XY chromosomes, right? So it can't.
Hold on, that's an estimate. It's not empirical.
It's an estimate. You're absolutely right, right? So we cannot purely say that it's just chromosomes. It's all of those things put together,
What
right?
is
Now,
necessary and
because-
hold on.
sufficient
I said
qualifier?
just entertain me for a second. Just check this
I'm
out.
trying to entertain you, but you keep talking. The sex is not defined by chromosomes. Get that out of your head.
You gotta let him respond.
I
Izzy.
know that sex isn't defined by
Okay, do you
chromosomes.
know the
sex
difference?
Is defined
Okay.
by what? Sex is defined how I defined it.
Okay,
No,
all right,
genotype
all right,
is
Ainsley. Thank you,
circular.
Ainsley. Go ahead. Oppositions
Okay.
get priority. Go ahead, John.
So sex isn't defined by chromosomes. There's a difference between defining sex versus determining sex. Your chromosomes are your proteins, in that they're basically your genetic information that make up your traits, which would be the Müllerian and Wolffian ducts, or the pathways that you like to call them. Your sex is defined by the two and only two reproductive strategies of large and small gametes. So yes, this is actually in evolutionary biology. This still upholds to every female and male sex throughout all species. Sex is immutable, especially in mammals, which is what we are, because we are a gynochoric species, meaning that we cannot change our sex. We're not like clownfishes that are sequential hermaphrodites. That all clownfishes
Brother,
start out
I'm a
as male.
potato.
But anyways, you're trying to strawman my argument by like referencing all these female characteristics when none of those female characteristics that you have said applies to my definition when it comes to evolutionary biology.
I know what a female is. I know what a male is, John. I know what those things are.
Oh, they left.
But
Oh,
the issue
that's
is that we wear clothes and you cannot see someone's. You can't see someone's. Now, yes, we can observe in nature in mammals. Yeah, we can pick up a cat. Oh, that's a female. You can't do that with humans. We live in a society, a civilized society, and we wear clothes. We wear clothes, right? So you can't see someone's smick. So how do we determine if we can't see it?
Duchess, did you realize that your womanhood
there-
was a costume? And when did it happen?
Well, hold on.
She's
There-
working. She's working, Josh. She's just listening.
This has been done in the past, Adam. You know, you can put on an armband with a triangle.
Well, I'll own that. You can call me like, woman is a costume. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to call you a woman if you look like a woman.
Can you show me
Why
a
would you
woman?
say that's
I don't
sexist?
think it. I don't.
Why-
I don't
okay.
think you picked up what I just said.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm in a day.
No, that's okay, Adam. I said if you want to determine these individuals in society, but you can't perceive it. Well, there's been a solution given in the past, and that was that they made them wear a pink sleeve with a triangle.
Oh, damn.
So I have a question for you, Adam.
What's up?
You watch movies, right?
Yeah.
Like Johnny Depp, Chris Pratt, Adam Sandler,
Yeah.
all those people, right?
Yeah,
How do you know these people are male? Do you not know that these people are male?
You don't.
I
You
don't know
You
if they're
don't.
don't.
male. No.
But hold on. Chicharon said nobody cares. My question is would you support that? If we said, hey, if you're trans, and you're walking around in our society, we're going to ask you to wear an identifier.
You gotta wear an armband. All
Yeah.
females, you gotta wear an armband that you've been checked.
Yeah.
Yep,
Would you
that's what we want.
support that,
Gotta show
John?
your ID.
Well, I mean, that's why we have IDs.
Gotta show that ID
Well, no, no,
because
no, no, no. Hold on. But this isn't like a card I have in my pocket. This is so that the public can perceive me, because the public can't perceive my ID.
Okay, but again, it's up to you to believe that perception is true or false.
Hold
you
on.
want
Do
to be.
you think
Yeah.
that the public should be able to perceive my gender based on an identifier that is available for them to see without me having to reveal my license?
This is. Yeah.
I don't disagree that perception is a thing that we obviously have to the naked eye. Obviously, we live in a reality based off a variety of things based off perception, but it is up to you as the individual to perceive that thing as true or false. That just because somebody can emulate or mimic
Well,
the female sex doesn't make them that
hold
way.
on. The perception of the individual isn't the basis for an enforcement of a law.
Wait, we're not talking about law, though.
Yes, we are. We've been talking about law this entire time, because if you're saying what ought be in society, all right, then you're insisting that there should be an enforcement behind it. Otherwise, you're just giving your opinion, which is irrelevant.
I thought we were just going based off society. I didn't know we were still based on law.
Josh and John, you believe this in your heart. You want to be perceived as a man, regardless of your genitals. You don't want to prove. You don't want to prove. Oh, but I am a man. See, no, you want to be recognized as a man because of your appearance and mannerisms, not because of what's in your pants.
It's not about what is wanted.
But
Yeah.
I don't have a want though. I don't necessarily care if somebody perceives me differently than
And
what I
that's how
am.
we do it in society.
Great.
We perceive you as men.
So, John, if I stopped you at the bathroom door, I'm not a law enforcement body, and I said, whoa, 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 show me your ID, okay, before you enter the
Where
male
is your
bathroom.
papers?
Yeah.
Show
What
me
would
your
you do?
papers.
I would show you my ID because I don't have a problem
You
with
would
that.
show me, a complete stranger, your ID, and now I have your address, and I can
But
go
you,
stalk your
you,
family? You
you
would do
act,
that?
what you act like I can't cover that with my hand. All I have to do is show you my sex.
I do indeed love moving target practice for sure. So,
No, but this is the whole point. I have a reasonable right to privacy, and a private citizen or even a law enforcement officer that doesn't have a reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime cannot violate my privacy by demanding to see my identification. This is
listen,
not
but
Germany in 1942.
Wait,
Potato,
John, if I
I
may.
know.
Show me your ID.
John, if I may. Potato, do women have
Yeah,
rights
what's up?
do females have rights to privacy in their own designated spaces?
Do they have rights
Do they
to
have a
privacy?
right? A right?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
perfect.
They have a
So
they have a right
if
to.
a male comes
Yeah.
into this space and let's
Mhm.
say flashes them and their female child with their male genitalia while claiming
Yep,
That's illegal.
That's
That's
a crime.
illegal.
That's a crime.
That's already
Yeah,
a crime.
They
Should it
should
be? The question is,
absolutely
should
be
it be?
convicted.
Yes.
It is a crime, and they should be convicted
Why?
of indecent exposure.
Why?
To,
It's a wait, hold on. This is a women's locker room where women are naked all the time. If they pull out their genitalia as women, what's the crime?
well, you're saying that if a man goes in there and flashes them, like the
Yeah.
whole premise that you gave was completely
So
opposition.
if a woman, so hold on. So if a female lifts up their skirt in front of another child, a female in a female space,
Yep.
then that's not bad. But if
No,
a
no, no,
male
no, no.
does it, even though they're a woman, that's a crime.
If their intention is for sexual gratification and the intent is to do exposure to a child, then yeah, that's a crime, regardless of the.
It's already a crime.
Do you think flashing is a specific like thing under which individuals are doing it for the purpose of that always?
Flashing is a crime, and I think
I didn't
all
ask if
states-
flashing was a crime. I asked if flashing was interpreted as something to you that is purposed in sexual gratification at all times.
Me?
Well, but I don't
no.
think he should do that. I don't think they should do that. They should. A male should be.
I'm not respectfully. I didn't ask if they should do it. I asked whether or not what flashing was in particular and the purposes for such act.
No, so there's like levels to the crime depending on the state
Right.
that you're
So we
in.
understand that a flash could be an like incidental thing under which these individuals are actually just removing their clothing and face towards somebody and then realize somebody was there and then cover back up and
Yeah,
walk away.
yet
So
yet
great.
again,
So
we're
if it's the
we're
case, if
specific.
it's the
Hold on,
case, if it's the case, if it's the, I'd like to go on my linear question.
No, because we're
No? Oh,
talking
so you
about
don't want linear
bathrooms.
questions,
Hold on,
Potato? You don't want linear
no.
questions?
What I want is for you
Great.
to stay on
So
topic. What we're talking about is bathrooms, not locker rooms, not sports, not any
I'm
of these
sorry.
other
I'm
things.
sorry. Do
Talk about
locker rooms
bathrooms.
entail bathrooms as well?
No.
Yeah, but you're
No,
not
locker
showing.
rooms don't entail bathrooms?
Yeah, but I
There are no
don't.
bathrooms in locker rooms that are open
Yeah,
spaces?
No,
That's
bathrooms
okay.
don't. Hold on,
Weird.
bathrooms don't entail locker rooms. I could also say that if we have
I didn't
bathrooms, we
say
also have a
bathrooms
really
entail
nice
locker rooms. I said
couch.
locker rooms entail bathrooms, bro.
Yes, correct. You're trying to connect the two, and these are two very different arguments that are being made.
No,
What we're
they aren't.
talking
You're
about
just
are
pivoting.
bathrooms.
No, they
Josh, I
aren't.
got a
No,
question for you.
they're two
I got a
very
question for you,
different
Josh.
arguments.
Potato, can you
If a
stop deflecting
man,
and actually answer the
Josh,
question?
Josh, if a man walks into a locker room and flashes a young boy, is that a crime?
It depends on on like what you mean
Exactly.
Oh my
Exactly. So
God.
your point is
The
moot, bro.
the whole
Actually, it
point
doesn't.
That's
is that
exactly what they're
Hold-
saying.
hold
They're
on,
saying it's not
explain the
always.
intent
Josh.
here.
Nobody
Even
should be
Potato,
able to
even
commit. Hold
Potato,
on.
and hey, Kiko, even Potato acknowledges that flashing isn't necessarily something that
This
you're doing for gratification. A flash could be
that
incidental,
doesn't
but
not
is not
make it a
purposeful
crime.
All right.
showing off genitalia to an
Hold
individual.
on, hold
There's a
on,
difference
Josh.
between
No,
intentionally
Potato, stop
flashing
spoken.
somebody
Josh.
and,
Okay,
Josh.
I'll
taking
tell
off
you
your
what. I'm
clothes
Pay
gonna
and
let y'all
attention
yap and
to
spurt
the
and crash out,
argument.
and when you're done, you let me know.
No, pay attention to the argument. One, we're talking about bathrooms. You've moved the goalpost so that you can have it in locker rooms, so that you can have a broader spectrum here. What we're talking about is bathrooms and the enforcement behind it. How would you enforce a prevention of trans women going into women's bathrooms?
Yeah, so I'm
Not
going to
locker rooms,
actually
not
just go ahead and
sports.
just repeat my question then. So again, if it is the case that flashing can be incidental and not purposed towards harm, and they're just using these spaces, bathrooms, locker rooms, or whatever, then if that's the case, then what's the problem with them showing their
Ba-
genitalia in these
bathrooms
spaces under
have
which it is expected that their genitalia is going
bathrooms
to be
have a
shown?
reasonable expectation of independent privacy. You have
No, you
stalls in
don't.
women's
No, you
restrooms.
don't. It's a
Yeah,
public
do you not
bathroom.
have stalls in
You
women's
do not
restrooms?
have reasonable expectations of privacy in public spaces.
if you're in a
Yeah,
stall, yes,
you
you do.
do.
No,
You
you
You can't
don't.
put a
do.
You
camera
literally
over a
don't.
stall.
It's not
You
a
Yes, you
can't
right,
put
do.
a
it's a
camera inside of a
privilege.
stall,
Wait.
dude.
Yes, you do have reasonable. So it's like kind of
It,
semi-private. So
yeah.
like you can't
So
like.
here.
Public spaces. Read me
Oh,
the
So
law. Read me any
hold on.
law that doesn't
So it's
contradict with
so
federal
it's
law.
not illegal to
If
put your
I
camera inside of a stall while someone's
hold on.
yeah, it's illegal.
standing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
fucking
that's
It's
illegal, dude.
illegal to make pornographic material or any type of like
correct. It's also illegal for me to go over to a stall and look over the top of it and
Yeah.
start harassing an individual.
It would
That's
be
Yeah.
illegal to do. It
sexual
would be
harassment.
illegal. It would be illegal to do that in any private or public space without individuals' consent. That doesn't
Correct.
instigate.
Because
That
there's a
doesn't.
reasonable
Hold on,
expectation of privacy.
Potato. Do you want me to actually like answer the question, or do you want to interrupt? Because I'm
Go
cool with
ahead.
either way, but I just want to be
Yeah,
clear on the exchange that we're having. Because quite frankly, every single time
we're
that I
not
pose a
we're not
question, you've
having an
interrupted.
exchange. You're bitching right now. Go
No,
ahead.
no. You were bitching when I was trying to pose a question. So let's not be hypocrites here.
That's
And let's
because the
actually
My
have
question is
God, they're
against.
fighting.
Yeah, look,
nobody's
it
fighting
has
here. I'm just
nothing to
trying
do
to
with.
sit this
Hold
child
on. It
down and
has
instruct him
nothing.
that hey,
It has
you
nothing
you
to
can't throw a
do
fit
with
about
what
the
is
thing for which you are
mentioned
complaining
here.
about when you are doing the
No,
thing for which you're
yet
complaining
yet
about.
again, trans women are women. Trans in
What is a
bathrooms.
woman?
That's the
Sorry, what is a
argument.
woman?
An adult human female.
Okay, great. So trans women are not women then, because trans women by
Correct.
definition are
Trans
males.
women are trans women.
Nope, trans women are by definition are males.
Then what is a trans woman?
A male who is in like disguise of socially accepted things
In
that like
disguise.
females tend to ascribe to within any given society. That doesn't make
Great.
women women.
So it's okay for me to say that a trans woman is a trans woman, right? Because you
That's
have a
That would be
definite, a working
circular.
definition of
that's
it.
That would be
Jesus
circular.
Christ.
circular.
No. That's circular if I'm giving that as the definition of a trans woman,
You just
not
said
as a
trans
descriptive
women are
for the
trans
person.
women. You just said trans
Correct.
women are trans
I'm
women. That
not
is
giving it
literally
as a
begging the
descriptive
question.
for the definition,
What
guys.
is a
I'm
trans
saying,
woman, bro?
okay, great. If I see, I don't know, Travis Kelsey walk by and I go, that's a man, and then I see RuPaul walk by in full gun out, I'm gonna go, oh,
I
that's
don't
a
see how
trans
this
woman,
answers the question.
because those are known as two different things in our society.
You're
We
giving me
understand that
examples, not a definition, bro.
hold on, a trans woman is a male that is socially or physically trying to transition to being perceived as a woman.
But
Like, I
then,
can give the
okay, great. They're
definition.
being perceived. They're not actually one.
Correct. I agree
Great. So
with
we,
you
we
on that.
agree. Trans women are not women.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Okay. But yet
They're
again, this
trans
is not
women.
the heart of my argument. The heart
It
of my
literally
argument
is.
is no, it's not.
I have
It's not.
666
Literally
likes.
is.
How are you going to
Oh no.
enforce this?
Oh, thank
How
God.
do you
How
have
are you going to enforce it that
117,000
trans women
views?
cannot go into bathrooms? How are trans women going to be prevented from going into the bathroom? That is my argument. There is no way for you to enforce it.
But
I'm
I
not
mean, there,
arguing the
First off, there
principle, the
is
morality, the
absolutely a way that you
definitions.
enforce it.
Find
When
the
you gain
trans.
knowledge that
Find
these
the
individuals
trans.
are trans, you force them out of those spaces.
Find the trans.
How?
I
How are you
can't.
going to do
I
it?
can't figure it
Find
out.
it.
Like,
First off,
We need to see
if
the
you're
Show me
gonna
your
video.
make,
ID. Show me.
hold
Pull
on,
down your
are
pants.
you
you can't.
are you
Sorry,
going to
come on.
make it a law?
Yes, I would I would
Okay,
happily
how
make
are
it a
you
law.
going to enforce? How are you going to enforce that law?
Show me your
Correct, because
papers.
I would
I
say
can't
that
do a
when
German
law
accent.
enforcement officers obtain knowledge that is backed up and admitted to in any, like in the way that they would have in any other law, reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime, they should be able to detain these individuals, and when found guilty, they should be able to imprison them. This is not a hard thing.
Okay, great. How are you going to have a reasonable articulable suspicion
If somebody
or
says
crime?
they're trans and they enter a woman's space and they are not in fact a woman,
So they have
then
to
they should be
disclose.
Yeah,
removed.
so I'm gonna walk in the
So,
bathroom and
so,
say, I'm not trans, guys.
I'm a woman,
That's
guys.
fine. There are other ways that you can do this. If somebody
You're doing good,
saw
okay.
Jeff. You're
that
doing
there
good.
is
So hold
that
on.
there's a male
I want to go even
genitalia,
further.
an active male genitalia in these spaces, then they
Yeah,
can report them
we
and
just
they
all
can.
have to announce it when we walk in.
I want to go even further. If there's
I'm
a
a
very
woman.
big line at a sports event where a bunch of women are in line at the bathroom, but the male bathroom is basically empty, and the woman goes over there and uses it, does she get convicted of a crime?
I'm a real
She should be
queen.
removed and fined.
She should be removed and fined. Okay, so if a trans woman goes into the woman's space, they should be removed and fined.
Yes,
How you gonna remove
Okay,
them?
so
physically, forcefully.
Damn.
how? Like
Like
law
grab it onto them?
enforcement?
Put my hands on them by their throat and drag them out of the
What?
bathroom.
So you want to assault
Okay,
trans people?
so you want to
Absolutely.
assault
If
trans
they
people?
invade women's spaces, I think it's
Got it.
completely permissible to assault them in the same way that
So
you would restrain
so
individuals from getting out of your own
so
spaces
so you
where
want
you
to
are
So
permit
you're
demanding
gonna walk
assault
into a
on
women's
trans
bathroom
people?
to
One at a time. One at a time.
choke
these
slam a
spaces for
trans
yourself.
woman?
One at a time.
This is
But wait,
awesome.
but you would have to go into the women's room. You have to
Yeah,
violate
what
women's
the fuck is he
space.
talking about?
No,
Josh?
the question
Yeah.
was whether or not these individuals were coming into my spaces. And if I'm also
Oh, so you're gonna
directed as a
choke
law
slam a
enforcement
trans
officer or
man.
even a manager of my own property, then
You gonna
I
RKO
obviously
them?
am going to say, hey,
Can you do the
all
RKO?
actual females get out, or I would direct the female who reported it to me to get all
Trans
the other
woman out
females
of
out,
nowhere.
walk into that space, and then physically remove them, as is my right.
But then you'll get a ticket because you just walked into a woman's bathroom.
Nope,
Yeah, you
that's
should
not
be
how that
you should
works,
be
bro.
removed.
What do you
Hold on, you
mean?
should be removed
Enforcement
and
of
fined.
policies would be necessary to enter the spaces to be
Well,
able to
this isn't
get
a
rid
policy.
Not
of
for a
the
civilian.
that were there.
You're not a
Obviously,
vigilante,
this
my
would be a
boy.
straw man to the position in the law that I would
You're not a
implement.
vigilante. You can't just walk into women's bathrooms and choke slam trans women.
I didn't say
What's
I
wrong
would
with
Yeah,
choke
you?
slam them. I said I would grab them by their throats and
He would
drag them out.
RKO them.
correct. And that would be
That's a choke
outside of
slam.
reasonable. Hold on, that would be outside of reasonable force. All right.
No, that
So
would be
you would.
absolutely reasonable force.
It's not reasonable force for a police officer to do that.
It would be reasonable
Why
force
is
for
it
a
for
police
you?
officer to do that in specific cases.
No, it's not.
It would
No,
be in
it's
my
not.
view.
I mean, it is if they're
I
If
thought we were
you're
assaulting
talking about
somebody.
what arguments we were
great.
making. Who's straw manning
Hold on,
now?
Josh.
Which one gets the
Josh, do you
RKO?
Josh, do you also
I
believe
picked the
that
third
trans
one.
people should walk around with sleeves that determine that they are trans?
I think trans people should not
That would
be
get the RKO.
allowed. I think trans people that should not be allowed in spaces. If they are known
No,
trans
I'm not
people,
saying in
if these
spaces. I'm
individuals are
saying so
known
that we
trans
can perceive
people, I'm
them.
not saying that people can't pass for these things. What I'm saying is once it is found that these people are being deceptive and trying to invade spaces which are not purposed for them, then they should be forcibly removed.
Should there be something that
By
we
a
can
man.
publicly
Damn.
identify them,
There,
like party plates for like people who have DUIs?
well,
Should we,
again,
if
so
they violated this, should we have them wear like an article of clothing, a scarlet letter, an
Yeah.
armband?
You
well,
mean like
potato.
how
Kind of pin.
we force individuals who are child rapists to identify themselves? Yes, fine with it. Completely fine with it.
Okay, so you're saying we
But
should.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like
Well,
a
they,
registry. I'm
That's a
saying
great question in the
because
comments. If the trans woman is a kid, are you gonna choke a kid?
what?
If the
ooh,
trans
Okay, stop
person
bringing up kids.
refuses to leave,
My bad,
yeah,
my bad.
anyways,
absolutely.
No,
I
not
would use
you.
yeah.
whatever
In the
force
chat.
necessary to remove them to enforce safety for other individuals who this individual is violating.
Actually, there
Yeah,
was actual.
and
There
so
was.
We use
so there
force,
comes
we
a
use
point
force on
where
children all the time
Well, I mean, a
as
kid
well,
wouldn't be a
there
woman.
including in high
there
school,
does
middle
come a
school settings
point.
when they are when they are actively, physically, or causing any type of danger to other students or people in those spaces. I don't understand what the issue would be.
It
So we
doesn't.
should
The
do the
issue
same
is
for all
that
men then. So all men,
the
they should
issue
get choked
is
out of the
that
bathroom because they violate even boys
If you're
in
in the
boys'
women's
bathrooms.
bathroom and you pose a threat to
But what
them,
about the
yeah,
men who go into
100%.
what about the
If you're
men who go into
violating their
men's
rights and you
bathrooms and
refuse to leave,
violate
100%, forcibly remove them. I have no issue with this. What's the issue with this? What's the wrong maker?
Yeah, but what you're saying is you're going to remove someone before you think they're going to commit a crime.
exactly.
Not at all.
That's what you
Yeah,
just
the
said.
the
Not
crime
at
hasn't
all.
been committed.
Not at all. No.
Wait,
Actually,
but
here's the thing.
why? But
Here's
why
the
should we
thing.
wait?
This is a misrepresentation of what I've said. Is it illegal? Is it illegal for males to go into women's spaces? Yes or no?
I don't think it's illegal. No.
It depends on the
Really? So
state
you
you're
don't think
in.
that it's
Yeah, it
illegal
depends on.
anywhere in
Some
any
states,
state?
yes, but
Yeah,
should
it
it be?
depends
Okay,
on the state
perfect.
you're in.
Should it
Yeah.
be illegal for males to enter women's spaces?
Regardless of if it's illegal or not.
Wait, that's not. Wait, don't dodge the
Okay.
question. Should it be illegal?
Should it be
for
illegal?
males
Does
to
it
enter
matter?
women's
No.
only spaces?
Okay. I'm gonna get new pictures tomorrow. I promise. Do you have an issue with any of these people in the women's room? No. Could they be male?
Sorry, my
Sure.
alarm.
Does it matter? No. It doesn't
Yes,
matter if they're
would
male.
absolutely matter. You know
Well,
why?
why would it matter if they're male?
You know why it matters,
Who
Adam?
cares?
Wait, I care because we have multiple accounts all over the country, hundreds of accounts of trans people assaulting
That's
sexually
illegal.
and
No.
non-sexually.
Okay.
And we have
individuals
and we
who
have
are
thousands of
assaulted
cis men that go into
because they
men's
could not even
bathrooms and
ask them to
violate
Yes.
kids.
leave their
Okay.
spaces.
Assaulting someone is already a crime. It's already illegal.
Yeah,
I'm
but,
just
but
saying.
This is why,
Hold on,
yes,
let me
it's a
finish.
crime, but these individuals keep perpetuating it.
Yeah,
so
but
if they keep perpetuating this and they are of the same demographic, then obviously we need to enforce this at a much greater level.
you're stopping someone before the crime is committed. You can't do that.
should we
What do you
stop
mean
them
stopping
before?
somebody
Should
before the crime is committed?
we stop
The
them
law
Like
that
you
after it
can't.
ought
happens?
be the
Well,
case is that males should not be allowed in female spaces. Therefore, they would be
how,
committing
but
a
it's
crime under my
unenfor-
worldview.
but,
What
but
are
we're
you
saying
talking about?
but we're saying it's unenforceable because you can't.
It's
Yeah.
not unenforceable
It,
at all.
ha,
In
Well,
the
then
how
same
do you
way
know
that
if they're
it's not
how are
male?
you going
If
to
that's the
enforce
case,
it?
Adam,
How do you know if
that's
they're
the
male?
case. If that's the case, then grape laws and Schmurder laws would be unenforceable.
And what
They
happens when the
basically
bathroom
hold
breaks
on,
in
hold
Wait,
on,
they are
hold on,
the
enforceable.
plumber?
Josh,
Right, grape and
one,
Schmurder laws
hold
are
on.
enforceable because when they have committed the act that is against the law, they have now committed a crime and therefore it is enforceable.
I
When
mean,
you have
even
the
with
evidence
that,
to be able
what's
to
the
back them,
conviction
to
rate?
put them into a
Hold
detained
on, Josh. What's the
situation
conviction
and
rate
then
from
put them
charge?
into jail
What?
and then tried, guess
What's
what? That's
the
enforcing the
conviction?
law.
Hold on. What's the conviction rate from charge to conviction in
Why
grape
would
in the
that
United
matter?
States?
Why would that
Because
matter?
enforcement is more than just charging with a crime.
Yeah.
Yes, nobody's objecting to that.
Yeah. So
Wait,
what's
but
the rate?
Why would that matter? The
why
question
would
is
it?
whether or not these things are enforceable.
Because we're
Is
saying
it
you have
able
to.
to be enforced if
First
there's
of all, this
conviction?
this argument is
Are
kind
there
of
any
dumb.
convictions at all, Potato?
How are we gonna how
There,
are we
Are
gonna
there no
it's
conflate
3%.
No,
rape
it's
with
not
freaking
enforceable.
going into the
3%.
bathroom?
Are there no? Sorry,
This
hold
is
on.
dumb.
The question on the table is whether or not this was enforceable. Enforceable would imply
All right.
that there would be convictions under this thing. So again, are grapes? Are there convictions of grape?
3% of the time, yes.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
is enforceable, right?
3% of the
Is
time
it
with grape,
enforceable? Yes or
but
no, Potato?
those Oh, hold on, but those
Yes
two
or no?
things
Is
are
it
not the
enforceable?
same.
Stop dodging.
Though,
Stop.
is preventing trans people? No,
Stop
I don't think
dodging.
it's
You can
Potato.
dodge a
enforceable.
wrench, you
Grape
can dodge
laws
a ball.
enforceable.
No, it's not enforceable.
Okay, so grape laws are not enforceable. So
No,
if grape
Yes.
laws
I'm not
aren't
talking about the
enforceable,
grape laws. What I'm talking about,
again,
the grape.
that's the example I'm giving you, and I don't understand
Yeah,
why you
it's
keep
a bad
deflecting.
example. Okay.
Yeah, that's your opinion. That doesn't mean that it is a
If
bad example.
what?
Your claim
No.
specifically was that this law was not enforceable. So what makes
Yeah,
something
If
it's
someone
not.
if someone is
conviction?
It's
trying
not
to
enforceable without violating
Stop,
constitutional
potato. I'm not
rights.
going to allow you to keep red herring and
It's
stonewalling.
not
The issue
a
here,
unless you can do
is
it without
okay. If
violating
something is
constitutional
convictable,
rights,
if
it's not
something is
enforceable.
convictable, potato, is it enforceable? If there are convictions aligned with a law, does that mean it's enforceable?
I'm saying that they don't have the ability to enforce it without constitutional violation.
Again, that's a different claim. You said this wasn't
No, it's
enforceable.
not.
That is a
Correct.
different claim.
How are
You
you
said
going
it
to
He's
wasn't
enforce it?
explaining why it's not
originally. You
enforceable.
said it wasn't
How are you
enforceable.
going to
Now you're
enforce
saying
it?
it's
You
not
have,
enforceable without violating their constitutional rights, which I find
which means
absurd.
it's not
Because the
enforceable.
idea here is that the entire reason why grapes are illegal is because they are a violation of one's human rights, and therefore it would be
how you would
constitutional for
enforce
us
it,
to
how you would quote
violate their
unquote,
bodily autonomy
how
and
you would
force them
okay
from doing these grapes, even if it was under threat of
okay
doing
how
this.
you would
Attempted grape is still a crime. So if you attempt to go into a woman's
yes
restroom
because we
as
can
a
observe
male, as
we
a
can
known male, then
we
you
can
should be arrested.
So
okay
mad.
okay we can observe but we can
So
clearly
angry.
observe we can observe someone trying to grape someone we can oh he's trying to observably trying to grape someone we can observe that but you can't observe someone's smecks unless they give up privacy like their ID or something which is a violation of their constitutional right. That's what
Again,
Potato's saying.
people being passed off as non-grapists and doing grapes in secret or
You
out
can't
of the view of public doesn't mean that they aren't objectively committing a crime. And if you have
We're
the
not
evidence to
saying
go
that.
form that, even in the here's the thing too.
this
Do
is
you
tough
acknowledge
this is
that
tough to
grapes
get around.
happen outside of
You're,
evidence?
you're ignoring what
Do
the
you
host
not?
just said,
All
man.
right,
You,
Kiko.
you like
Yeah,
Josh,
I'm doing the
you're
same thing that
blowing.
y'all did
Hold
earlier to
on,
me.
no, you're
Open seed.
blowing right past it.
Adam, no, yeah,
This
that's
is
right.
no
I'm
Josh
blowing,
I'm being
blowing
quiet
right
I'm being
past
quiet.
non sequiturs and red herrings from the linear questions that I'm posing to y'all.
This
That you
is
don't
hard to
want
get
to
around
answer.
though Josh this is hard to get
Like,
around.
No,
but
No,
you're
it's
attempting
not
to
but
hard at
dog
all.
walk, and
I
it's
want to
It's
not
not hard
ask.
at
working, and
all.
it's
What's
frustrating
happening
you.
here is laziness and the application of law, which you are as are proposing. So, as I'm going to demonstrate. So, is it or is it not the case that grapes happen outside of evidence?
Can I
Grapes
perceive a
happen
grape?
outside of evidence.
You
If
you
there's no
can.
evidence
That's
of it,
not the
if it
question.
wait,
I
if
don't know
there's
how this
no
is responding to the
Can I
question.
perceive? Hold on. Can I perceive a grape? If I
yeah,
actively
I
see
don't
a
know why
grape
you're asking me
occurring,
a question.
if I actively because there's a question, there's a qualifier in what you're saying, and all you're saying is answer my yes or no question so that my point can be made. No,
Yes. I don't think
that's
that's
not how
unreasonable.
that's not how debates are happening.
That is actually
All
how
right?
debates happen. Tell me you don't know
No,
how a
they
debate
don't.
happens
He
without
doesn't
telling
have to
me.
agree to your premise, dude.
You have no established premise here.
show me your papers.
Again, I'm using the Socratic method to be able to establish what your premises are and if they actually align. So again, can grapes
There's
happen
no reverse card.
outside? Can
Well,
grapes
the
happen
the
even
great
though there's
thing
no
is we're
evidence
not
of them
talking about
happening?
grape.
I'm sorry,
We're not talking about
potato.
grape. We're talking
It's
about
okay,
trans people in
sweetheart. It's okay,
bathrooms. Stay on
sweetheart.
topic.
I'm gonna hold your hand through this, right? So here's the issue.
I don't
If
have
you are
hands.
going
I'm a
to, you don't
potato.
have hands. That's crazy.
What
Not
about
having hands and also being
what
a
if you're
jerk
Mr.
off is
Potato
wild.
Head?
Anyways, so potato. The issue here is
You're
that
not Mr.
you are
Potato Head?
claiming that this isn't enforceable, and you and Adam and
Correct.
everybody and Kiko here are saying that unless there's evidence to this, we can't actually enforce it. But that doesn't
Wait.
answer the question as to whether or not there should be laws.
How can you tell
against
which
this.
one is Mr.
Absent
Potato
of
Head
the
and Mrs.
evidence,
Potato Head?
even there, it would still be something that would be a crime. Would it not?
Well, no. Hold on. So when you have a crime, you have to be able to enforce it, which means you have to have reasonable, articulable suspicion. So if a random person you don't know, could be a woman, could not
Yeah.
be a woman,
This
goes
is
into a
not answering my
bathroom.
question, Potato. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
you're
how
also
you're
not
This is
answering any
literally
of
how the
my
law works.
questions.
It's an
literally
unenforceable
not.
crime.
What was my question,
You're
Potato? What did
you're
I
not
ask?
you're not answering
What
any
did I ask,
questions
Potato?
and
Yeah, I'm not
asking
answering
any
your questions because you're
questions
not
that
answering
have
mine. What did I ask?
you're not asking any questions
I
that
did
have
just ask a
anything to
question. That tells me
Okay,
you're
you're
not
not listening.
asking any questions that
Let me
have
steal
to do
man.
with
Let me
the
steal man.
topic.
I did just ask a question.
Let me
You're
steal man.
deflecting.
Let me steal man. So Josh said,
grapes happen without evidence, correct? That was his question.
Yeah.
which obviously it was yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Duh.
but
Great.
if
So
there's
if
no
there's no
evidence of it,
evidence,
it's
they
very
still
hard
commit a
to
crime?
enforce if there's no evidence. What's your
No,
next
that's
point?
not the question at all. That's not the question at all.
Okay.
That's not
All
where I
right.
was going. If it is the case that rapes can happen and there be no evidence presented of them,
Yeah.
then would they still be committing a crime?
Yes, it would be a crime.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So, just because you don't have the information available to you doesn't mean that they're not committing a crime. Now, the next question, even if there are cases under which we will not be able to actually apply the law to them because we don't have the evidence to charge them, does that mean that we should not have laws against said thing?
Make the law. Okay.
Make the law.
Put the law. Put the law in place.
Great,
Say males. Okay, it's still going to be unenforceable. It's still going
No,
to
it's
be unenforceable.
not.
Let me
It's
finish.
not,
Let me.
because there will be
God,
a
let me finish.
individuals
Let me
that
finish.
disagree
Let me
with
finish.
this.
Let me finish. Okay, there's a law in place. No males are allowed in the women's restroom to go piss. Okay, which one is the male?
The ones with activated SRY genes,
And you
the
can't.
ones who have
Who's the
male
victim?
genitalia,
And you
the
can't
ones who
tell.
are-
You can't
Who's
tell.
the
So it's
victim?
unenforceable.
literally could.
No, you
Wait.
can't.
So
Hold on,
Without
how are you-
violating
hold
their
on, how are-
privacy.
how-
Who's
how are
the
you
victim
gonna-
of the
how are you
crime,
gonna-
Doc?
Without violating their privacy.
How are you
biological
gonna do it?
female
You
that
can't-
has a
How are
has
you
a-
gonna do
Fourth
it?
Amendment. Fourth Amendment.
How are you gonna do it? Like, break it down
Wait,
for me.
but
Somebody
potato.
walks into a bathroom. You suspect they may not be female. How are you going to enforce it?
ID, but I want to
go
tell
to
you.
court,
I want to
I go
ask you
to
something,
court, I
Potato.
go.
Show me that.
Sorry, Don. Go ahead.
So, Potato. I want to go back to the ID thing because we already require ID in many ordinary contexts, and you're saying it's unreasonable and unconstitutional because it violates the Fourth Amendment.
Right.
But we use IDs to enter bars, buying alcohol, boarding a
That's
plane,
different.
watching. No, wait, hold on. Watching a rated R movie, entering a federal building, or even applying to welfare or voting. And all of these situations involve private citizens showing IDs to stranger, and they're not considered unconstitutional or unreasonable because they serve a
Why?
legitimate. Hold on, because they serve a legitimate regulatory purpose. So
Mhm.
it just begs the question: if ID verification is reasonable when enforcing age laws or security laws, why is it unreasonable?
There's
when
no
enforcing-
reasonable.
Hold
There's
on.
no
As
reason
a-
to ask these
Called
people
public.
for IDs.
It's
As
public,
a,
though.
as a, hold on,
Only space.
John, as a normal functioning human being, can I avoid all of those?
I'm sorry, what?
Can I avoid all of those?
Yeah.
Well,
so
if you don't enter those
you can avoid
spaces,
the
then
one
yeah,
with
you can avoid it.
Correct. Hold on. If I don't enter those spaces, I can avoid all of those. Do I have to use the bathroom?
If you're going to
Can I
use the
have-
bathroom, I think we
hold
should
on.
enforce that law.
Can I avoid like having to go pee?
Yeah, of course.
No, but you can avoid the women's only
How
bathroom.
how can I avoid going pee?
Going outside, or you can
In your
go
pants.
to your.
No,
You
you
can-
can't. If
Yes,
I'm
you
like
can.
if I'm in the middle of a metropolitan area and I need to go urinate, I can't just do it on the side of the road.
But we're not asking you to do it on the side of the road. I mean, you should probably go
You just said
camping
outside.
But yes,
I
outside
should
was
go
very.
camping every single time I need to go use
Can
the
you stop interrupting me, please?
bathroom
'Cause
in
I
public?
haven't talked. I have not talked for a good minute. I let you and Josh talk it out. When I said
Mhm.
outside, that was very vague, right? What I meant by outside is behind a bush, where nobody can see you without public visibility.
Is it still a crime?
No, it's not actually.
Yeah, in the city that I am currently in, if I were to do that, it would be a crime.
You
Yeah,
do
it would,
realize
yeah.
that you do realize that many police officers actually don't care, right?
It's still a crime,
Well,
though.
whether
Okay, but
whether they care or
This
not
was
does not
my
change the
argument.
law.
You think it's
earlier.
wait,
Yes.
I live in a college town with a lot of bars, and the cops they definitely care
Yeah.
here.
look, so okay,
hold on.
so going
Not all
51
the
into
time.
50 is a
I
crime.
mean, I've
but
done it.
the police go. Yeah,
Okay.
going 5 miles over the
So-
speed limit is a crime, but police don't care. But it's still a crime, though.
The whole point is that I would have to present my ID every time I go to the bathroom, even if I use the mails room at that point.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right? That's
Correct.
hold on, that's what you're suggesting. And I don't want to have to show my ID every time I use the restroom because I think that's an unreasonable
Oh, shit.
violation of my privacy.
I don't think it's unreasonable. I mean, we do this to every other thing that needs ID
No,
laws.
we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
What?
No, we don't.
Yeah,
What-
we do
we
it
don't.
every day. We show IDs.
No, you
every
don't. Not
day.
in a public. No.
I
That's
said-
the, no. Listen. No. Chill. No. That's wrong. No. Not in public spaces. So you
Yeah.
ever seen first?
Yes,
hold
in
on.
public
wait,
spaces.
no,
Okay, what
you
public space
stop
do you need to show
talking.
an
Stop,
ID?
stop, stop. Please let me get this out. Let me get this out. Not in public spaces. Go on YouTube and watch First Amendment audits. They go to public spaces such as post offices, police stations, public health departments, and they refuse ID. They want to ID them because like, I need to show me your ID, and they refuse. And sometimes they give them shit, and the police are called, and the police say, no, he has a right to be here. He doesn't have to show ID because
Are
it's
they
a
posing a
public.
clear and present
It's
threat as prescribed by law, though?
neither
No.
is the trans woman who's
Yes,
just going
they
in to
would. I would
piss.
argue they would be.
Well,
How?
how are you going to articulate
Because they're
that?
invading and violating the rights of other individuals
Right.
by their mere presence, and they are.
Yeah.
They
That's
have
crazy, bro.
Wait,
And
wait,
I-
hold
I-
on,
I-
been
hold
I-
on.
shown
How do you
wanna make a
know?
claim.
to
How
have
do you
been
Because they're
know?
assault
uncomfortable?
risks as well
Hold
as
on.
SA
How do you
risks.
know, Josh?
Because they're
Josh,
uncomfortable?
You're
That they're
operating
feeling
under
it.
Because
the.
they're
Hold on.
actually
You're
a clear and present
operating
danger.
under the. You're operating under the premise that you know that they're trans.
Not all males are violent.
Again, that's not what's
1%.
happening here. Potato is a
Okay.
master at straw manning.
Wait, so Potato, an ID check isn't a search and seizure, it's a verification. The Fourth Amendment protects against unlawful search and seizures, not against identification checks that are applied uniformly for public safety and law enforcement purposes.
In a public
Okay,
space, in a public
if a-
space. Wait, Potato. They don't understand this. In a public space, you have to have a reason. You have to have been suspected of committing a crime to show ID legally.
Yeah.
If all of
An
these,
officer can't just pull
if-
over on the side.
yeah,
Hold
this
on.
is a
An
public
officer
space.
can't-
Wait. They don't understand this. In the public space, the officer has to, in order for them to show ID, they have to.
Okay.
The officer has to have a reasonable
So if this
suspicion
person,
of them committing a crime.
so if
Where's
this person,
where's the
wait,
suspicion?
so Adam, if this person who's a trans woman, if they enter the woman's space, do I have a reasonable do I have a reasonable to ID this person?
I didn't hear the first part. Can you repeat that?
This is a trans woman. Do I have a reasonable expectation to ID this person going into the woman's space?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not pushing for ID check.
Okay, but
I'm not put.
Wait, so Adam, what I'm saying is that I agree with you. Like, there are passable trans people, and there's probably passable trans people that you just showed up on top of on your panel.
Yeah.
What I'm
so-
saying,
yeah.
what I'm saying to you, however, what I'm saying to you, that is not the majority of trans people. The majority of trans people
gotta
look
go, Adam.
exactly
Y'all bless
just
it.
like this.
Okay. Okay,
Like, the majority-
but the law, if that's going to be the case, yeah, but there are, so for the people that you can't tell or whatever, but you can't discriminate. So the law is not going to be able to discriminate. Everyone's going to have to get ID checked, or no one is.
Perfect. Fine with it. Let's go.
That's I mean, honestly, that's fine because we ID everything. Why not?
Not in public.
How does that not
we
violate the
don't.
Fourth
Not in
Amendment?
public spaces. We don't
But
ID
Adam,
check in public spaces.
I mean, bars, nightclubs.
And
all
how does that not
Those are
violate
not
the Fourth
public.
Amendment?
Those are not
what about-
public. Those are not public. Bars are not public. Those are private businesses. And yes,
I
they
thought
have
bars were
they-
public. No.
No, no. Bars are not public.
Oh.
Bars are private. Public is where it's a government facility, where it's funded by taxpayer money. Those are
No, there is an alternative to this that we could propose. Just anybody diagnosed with gender dysphoria gets 5150, and then we don't have to worry about it.
I gotta go, guys.
that mean?
You got to have a better argument for this. You got to.
I agree. You have to have a
You
better
got to have a better argument. It's not working. It's not working.
I mean, it is a hard. It is hard.
life as it should be. He taught me how to turn my cheek.
I'll see y'all next time. I appreciate you guys for
Yeah, later, Adam.
the
problem.
engagement.
No
I really do.
problem, Adam. Have a good one.
Later, fellas. Later, Duchess.
Oh, Josh, you going live, Josh? Follow Josh. Follow Josh. He does abortion debates.
I was probably going to get
He taught me how to pray and how to save my soul. He taught me
Thank
how
you,
to
Duchess,
break
the white
my
woman.
bones to play rock and roll.
She be working in the morning. She can't talk. She's working.
It's just an instrument to praise his name.
So she can pay taxes for you guys, you know? All right.